Alright, who's ready to finally make the trip to Northrend? Good afternoon, Yura, Maverick, Bragwin, Esmira Star, Valerian, Magister, and King Venomui. And Mr. Red. The reddest of all misters. You want to hear something funny, Mr. Red? Don't ask me how I know this. Did you know you cannot have any character name that has Mr. in the name? How about yours? So, one of my favorite little tidbits about going to Northrend is on the Alliance side, there's this whole lead up to it. There's guards, cannons, and recruits. Look at this sucker. Recruiters coming in all over the place, from all across the Alliance, all filing into the boats and all of them heading north. It's very, we're going to war kind of a thing. Actually, very circa World War II era, to be quite honest with you. And no, Shadow. Almost called you Pillars of Shadow.
Greetings.
We can also skip the introductory quest and begin our journey to Dalaran.
Light bless you.
Oh, so some of these are in the wrong place. Let's ignore those. That's actually really funny. So, okay. Hang on 1 second. Yeah, sorry, this is actually Legion. No wonder some of the things were in the wrong spot. You're probably wondering how I could ever possibly get that confused, considering Legion... Yeah, no, this is Legion. And, you know, Northrend are very, very different things. Well, they kind of pulled the same trick with both. We'll give these points to Legion, though, because this is predominantly the Legion one.
Safe travels.
Go with honor, friend.
Thank you, Cashel, as always. Give me 1 moment. He's a Lacrimosa, Pathfinder, Ra of the Righteous, Guild Wars 1. Is this me? Yeah, no, this is me. Okay. I think. God, it's actually been a minute.
What's on your mind?
No, thank you.
Off with you.
Do I have to actually wait? Oh, God, I actually don't remember how this works anymore. Back in the day, you'd actually physically wait for a boat to physically come and grab you, but a lot of the boats were taken out of the game because of bugs and related issues. So I'm not sure if the ship's going to be here. The good news is I can just teleport to Dalaran, but the bad news is that'll throw everything in a whack. So we'll just wait a minute or two. We'll see. Nice little dock up there. And by dock, I mean lighthouse. God. Hey, nope, that's not it. That is a BFA ship. I can tell just by the appearance on it. No, we got the icebreakers for Northrend. These things. These are the ships we got for Northrend right here.
What can I do for you? For the Alliance?
I actually like the icebreakers quite a lot. Oh, speaking of, there they are. Now, I'm going to laugh if this takes me to the fjord, because I don't actually want to go to the fjord. But it's okay, we have dragon flying. We can repair that quickly. Because there's also a boat that goes to the fjord. Well, while we're waiting.
Proudmoore's finest, at your service.
Right. Always with the eagle and lion motifs. Frickin' alliance, I swear. What's doubly funny is the lion is the symbol of Stormwind, so naturally it becomes the symbol of the whole alliance because the humans absolutely dominate the alliance culturally, economically, militarily, and politically. No, I'm not going to stop making fun of that. It's still stupid. One little side note, though. You'll notice that this is actually predominantly a steam rigger. It has the ability for sails, but it has no sails up. In contrast to that thing over there, which is actually a sail vessel. We also see the docks over there where they're building more of these suckers. Pretty sure the docks were added in Northrend.
Anchors away.
Don't quote me on that, though. Yes, Valerian. Bye, Stormwind. We'll talk about you more when we get to Cataclysm. Well, the map says we're heading to Borean. Welcome to Northrend. So, one thing they did right with Wrath, and I will give them credit on it, there are 2 starter zones, and both of them actually vary pretty substantially from Horde to Alliance. So we'll be doing a little bit of mixing and matching. Is that Mr. Red? When it comes to questing as we go through this zone. Those changes go away after a certain bit, but at least the first few zones are fairly definitively Horde or Alliance. Before we go anywhere further, let's just take a look around for a second. So, some people tend to forget Northrend was actually a fairly inhabited spot with like multiple human nations, or maybe nations the wrong word, but like outposts, cities. You know, there were the Tuskar, there were the Nubians. There's a bunch of people up here. And then the Scourge came. This is actually referenced even all the way back in Warcraft 3, where they specifically mention that they've lost contact with the northern cities, and they keep talking about some mysterious plague thing. So anyways, here's one of those town and outposts, or what's left of them. There's a couple of those scattered throughout the area we'll be seeing, almost entirely in the Forest of Ruins, or places that have long since become Scourge outposts. Now, let me go ahead and say that there's one thing I dislike about the Borean Tundra more than anything else. It's the music. You're already listening to it. And, it's really boring. It's not as bad as the Dragonblight music, but it's not great. So no pluses there. You will also, however, notice there's a lot of variety to the biomes here. We've got the rocky crags over there. We'll talk about that more when we get to the Orgrimmar stuff. We've got the blood fields. Yes, that's actually what they're called. The farmlands, like I just mentioned. Over there we've got the frozen tundra. Up there we've got the steam venti area. You can actually see Sholazar off in the distance there. Sorry, I was trying to find the range of the ping. Up over there on the left, we've got... I don't even know what the hell's going on over there. We've got a necropoli just hanging out on the right. Oh, and we can actually see Icecrown Citadel from here. Note that that was not originally true. So, decent variety to this zone. I will also admit that I never really liked the Horde quests here. I like the Alliance ones a lot more, and at least part of that why is because of this docks. I actually really like these docks. First of all, they're still in construction, which makes perfect sense. Second of all, it absolutely looks like some kind of very temporary, very crude outpost. Like, it's pretty much built into the rocks, and it's just chunks of rock and brick formed up in a very defensive fortification designed entirely just to keep this one spot safe. It's essentially just got, like, a barracks and then the inn over there. And everything else is temporary. Hell, they've still got some of the buildings in construction, as you can see right below me, right here. And, of course, this is part of what I was confusing earlier. Because here we have a whole bunch of civilians all up in the line up to the recruitment office. This is a plot thread that is only ever really mentioned one other time. That is in Westfall. It's actually part of why I like Westfall, is even though Westfall has some issues with it, and I'm not saying it doesn't, the thing I like most about Westfall is the fact that it actually freaking acknowledges the cost and consequence of this. So, they imply this throughout this, so that this is in the game. But to talk about this in full now, when the Scourge provoked the attack, like they sent some very weak, prodding attacks south for the purposes of trying to provoke the Horde and Alliance forces in order to journey north to attack Northrend. Remember, that's the whole goal. He's trying to filter out the best of the best in order to use them as his new army. If the Scourge just wanted to win, they would have done so right out of the gate. So instead, he's trying to get us to come up here. So we took the bait. Everybody took the bait. And so everybody on every side immediately, and arguably correctly, threw everything into the Northrend campaign. Now, this is kind of important. So there was the Outland campaign, right? Or more accurately, the Outland expedition. There's the Northrend campaign. There's the Hellscream War, which we'll get to later, of course. After that, we have the Pandaria Excursion, which is an even smaller group. Then we have the Warlord's Counterforce, which is an even smaller group. And then we'll get to Legion. The reason I'm bringing all this up is of all of these major campaigns, of all of the main story, plots, campaign, mission arcs, whatever you want to call it, amongst WoW, up to and including Legion, the one that involved the most and was taken the most seriously is this one. And that makes sense. Ignoring the fact that the roaming dead decided to come south and attack you in your front door without any warning, by the way. They were just able to pull that off. The fact of the matter is, they have pre-existing experience with the Scourge. All of them do. Everyone's scared of the Scourge. So, the fact that the Scourge were suddenly attacking in force made everyone just be like, alright, let's go! And for once, and for probably one of the only times in Azerothian history, everyone everywhere just kind of said, yep, let's go. Now, the thing I like about the Westfall follow-through on this is there are a lot of consequences for pulling this kind of a thing. So, that's why you see things like this. Lines of civilians, all here to be recruited, waiting patiently for the moment when they'll get up here, talk to the guy, get some armor, get a weapon, and be sent off to one of the troops. What did you do before you came Northrend, then? Is he going to respond? There we go. Carpenter. It's also a little buggy, because of course it is. I thought we had enough of your line of work, but it looks like we have some openings. Report to the civilian liaison. And yeah, this is actually also interesting. Not everyone is being handed a sword or a weapon. Some people are being told to work, which also makes sense. It's also why this little outpost makes perfect sense. This is not a large outpost. This is something you set up when you're having a beachhead. Ignore this giant statue of Borean, because he's got a giant eagle. Let's just ignore that for a second. This is something you set up when you are not intending to stay, right? This is not conquest. This is, as weird as this sounds, this is defense. You'll also notice the Scourge are actively attacking right there. Maybe 200 feet from where the civilians are getting recruited. Yeah, Varian... We'll talk about him later. Anyways. Let's actually do some of these quests, shall we?
Light be with you. Be careful.
We'll just hold off on that for a while. Hate this song. You know what? Nobody likes this song. Let's just turn it off. Let's just do it right now. And switch to a better song, shall we? Let's just pull that trigger. Game. Game! There it goes. Let's see. Let's go with... So right out of the gate, we've got visual storytelling. What's the name of this place? Valiant's Keep. What's your previous line of work? Blacksmith. Looks like we have room for one more. No, my mistake. That's a 7, not a 1. Hope you're good with a sword. Report to the barracks.
Well met.
You come to enlist, right? Normally you'd have to stand in line like the other recruits. Normally you'd be out of luck because the recruitment ledger's gone missing and I can't process people till the new book gets here. Fortunately for you, I've heard about you and what you did in Outland. So remember, canonically, this is the same group. I actually refer to it in the Warcraft series as the Horde Alliance Force. Or occasionally, the Alliance Horde Force, to make things equal. And so, yeah, we've already got a bit of a rep. Remember, in Outland, we kind of were just going a little bit ahead of your basic stuff. Well, now people actually know our names and actually recognize us on sight. So now they're just kind of kicking us to the top of the line, so to speak. So instead, as he says, to be honest, you're a cut above these poor saps. Lines aren't for you. Go straight to the barracks and talk to General Arios. He'll be happy to meet with someone of your caliber. What's the matter, Death Knight? Think you're too good to stand in line with the rest of us? Shink! No, I'm kidding. Don't test me, laddie, or I'll show you what a Death Knight can really do.
I am honored.
It's another quest to go to Dollar. They really want us to go to Dollar, don't they? Bring out your strongest ale. We're off to the front. You lads know the drill. No alcohol to servicemen on duty. Want the general to kill me himself? You'll make an exception for us, eh? We might not come back. Alright, but you didn't get these from me. Yeah, one last chug of booze before going to the front lines is actually a really common and old human tradition. Go figure. We've been doing that for centuries. I'm going to explore just a little bit. Hang on one second. We're honestly not quite there yet. In fact, frankly, I don't think we'll actually get to that until we hit Pandaria. But we're starting to see the WoW visual design really come into its own. We're starting to see a lot more attention to detail. We're starting to see a lot more doodad usage, a lot more careful usage of terrain and textures to sell the scene, right? This tavern is a great example of that. Completely optional little side area, but it helps get across just what kind of a situation they're in and what they're working with. It's also new. Most of this stuff is new stuff. For example, you can just go out here.
Good day to you.
So this is the Saurian sister.
Have a good one.
We'll talk about her later. I love the little bits of bushes here. Normally I'd complain about this thing, but actually it makes perfect sense to me, honestly. It's just one little tiny speck of green that they brought north with them. Because if you look around, There's not a lot of green to be had up in the Borean Tundra. I mean, look at this place. Just take it in for a second. Environmental psychology is a huge deal that a lot of people completely underestimate. So, no, I'm kind of with that. And yeah, exactly as Miristar. WoW is definitely... I already did, Magister. What are you talking about? Proof that Magister doesn't listen to me. But yeah, no, losing my train of thought. Warcraft 3 has what I would honestly consider to be legitimately excellent visual design. But it is still severely limited in what it can do and what it can't do, especially with regards to selling a scene. So, for example, while Warcraft 3 will have some great stuff for, like, wilds or plains or mountains or whatever, it just doesn't really do things like, say, this very well. I will have 2 regiments at your disposal in a month's time. Give the word, General. Our troops, General, consist mostly of villagers and peasants. Good men, but not quite rid of the prejudice and superstitions of their upbringing. They're not ready to fight alongside more exotic allies. Your offer will be carefully considered, Harbinger. In the meantime, we will make use of your delegation in an advisory role. Think about that for a second. Very well. Should you change your mind, my people will be more than willing to provide military assistance. I love this contrast. Forgive me for jumping ahead a little bit. The Draenei are offering military aid to their allies. Of course they are. They're the Draenei. These people were brought in and taken care of when they crash landed on Azeroth, so of course they're willing to fight back, especially against something like the frickin' Scourge. But the humans are like, See, we're horribly racist, okay? By contrast, the Blood Elves have to be dragged kicking and screaming. In fact, literally, the Blood Elves have to be blackmailed into going to Northrend, which they are.
King's honor, friend.
I'll come back to that when we do the Horde stuff. I wanted you to understand that contrast immediately, because it's just like, wow. We've been expecting your arrival, Marrowfrost. Welcome to Northrend.
Be careful.
It's good to have you among us, Marrowfrost. We've all heard of your past deeds. As you know, King Rin is moving great armies to Northrend to meet those of Arthas. But armies are nothing without true heroes to inspire and lead them. I want you to be that hero for my men. Fight alongside them for against the scourge that lays siege to our stronghold. Report to Sergeant Hammerhill outside the hold. Valiant's keep cannot fall.
Go with
Yeah,
honor.
by the way, I love the vibe of the campaign up here. This is kind of true on the Horde side as well. I don't know why I said the Horde side. Both factions in both starter zones maintain a similar tone. The beachhead attack is already failing until we show up. Now, I'm not saying that with definitive certainty it would have failed without us, but is it at least highly possible that both beachheads would have never even gotten going if we hadn't shown up?
How are you?
Oh, by Magni's beard, it looks like the heavy artillery is arriving.
Watch your back.
Well, it's good to see Ardios bringing out the big guns. Don't get me wrong, our lads are doing the best they can, but someone of your renown fighting alongside them could really turn the tides for us. I'm not sure how much longer we can hold out against these undead Nerubians. Well, they say get out there and kill some creepers. Show the boys how it's done.
Be good.
Fine, I'll turn back on the in-game music. Pretty sure there's some local stuff anyways.
Good day to you.
You there, please. I need your help. This soldier will succumb to their venom unless we act immediately. I've managed to slow down the poison, but without a suitable supply of antidote, I cannot counteract it. I was promised a new shipment of anti-venom from Stormbreaker's most recent trip. Go inside its hold and search the chest of for first aid supplies. Please hurry. We cannot afford to lose any more men than necessary. Yeah. I mean, you're literally fighting someone who gets stronger the more you die to them. Do I need to explain this? Hey, look, it's Lich King Jr. Hey. So I already kind of mentioned this in brief, but it really does bear work. It can't talk. I even laid down during my lunch break. I cannot talk. It bears repeating. Go and grab that. But there's a cultist shrine here. Well, that's strange. The fact that they split up Northrend into 2 zones was a very correct decision. It avoided a lot of the problems that Hellfire Peninsula had. So the Alliance... This is also one of the reasons why the Alliance and Horde have different objectives. Because some of them have neutral stuff. Like, for example, this stuff right here is neutral. And all this stuff up here is neutral. But otherwise, almost all of this zone is different depending on if you're a Horde or Alliance. It's also the same over here in the Fjord. There is some neutral stuff. But like Valgard over here has a very different start and story compared to, say, Vengeance Landing up here. And Fort Wildevar does different stuff than the Apothecary Camp. And Wisgard Keep does different stuff than New Agamont. You get it, right? Splitting up the so they didn't just split it in 2 zones. That's the praise I'm giving here. They split it up in 2 zones, and then they changed which quests, which characters would get depending on which side they were on. So they encouraged players to go different places just based on quest design and flow. If I might be so bold, I would say that Wrath was the first time that the very concept of quest flow even occurred to them. It's something they would expand on even more over in Cataclysm.
My, you're a tall one.
Cultist? Hello, Dick! I'd have my whole crew flogged. Listen, why don't we have Admiral Canterbury take care of this situation?
You have a great day now.
We must notify General Arlos at once. I've known the captain for a long time, and believe me, he's one of the more careful ones. Who knows how many cultists have been smuggled into our settlements in Northrend? This could be disastrous.
Safe travels.
Yeah, so there's this thing called the Cult of the Damned. The Cult of the Damned is a lot more terrifying than the Twilight's Hammer cultists, if I might be so bold, even though both portray a near identical position in the narrative. They're the normies who happen to serve the evilies, right? The difference is, the reason you would give in to the Cult of the the Twilight's Hammer, is because you've either gone completely insane, or you've given totally in to despair. Those are the 2 most common sources. Generally speaking, that's the kind of thing that it's hard to stay infiltrating in. So, for the most part, the Twilight's Hammer can't infiltrate in the traditional sense of the word, right? By contrast, the Cult of the Damned are just normal people who happen to have switched paymasters. They believe in the Scourge for whatever reason, usually disenfranchisement from, having to, I don't know, spend tons and tons of taxes and go without food for weeks on end, or be able to pay for a massive expedition to go attack Northrend, just to name a random example. So, the Cult of the Damned always has recruits, and a lot of them are more than capable of just sitting there and being nice and quiet and living in normal society until they're contacted. And yeah, by the way, I know I bang too much on about the economics of the situation, and Lord knows most people in general do not actually care or understand economics, but let me just say that I really wish they would actually talk about the fact that there's a goddamn statue of Varian here. Like, I really want you to understand for a moment how much of a waste of time and material and resources this is to plop down a statue of their king in a place where they are actively losing ground and shoving civilians. Like, look at this. Look at this. This lady has just been given a sword and a shield and told to go to the front lines. That's the level they're at here. Sorry. If it's not obvious, I really didn't like Varian at this point in the story, and for reasons we'll discuss as soon as... Yeah, exactly. What knows. We'll discuss the specifics of why when we have a dead period, because this is a good time to discuss why Varian is going to start off getting a negative to story.
Need help?
Thank you for your concern. We were made aware of the situation not too long ago. Counselor Talbot assures me that this was an isolated incident and not a cause for military concern. What? Our civilian authorities will make sure everyone involved is properly prosecuted.
Be careful. Greetings.
I see you're very eager to help, Marifrost. You didn't come all the way to Northrend just to say hold up in the city, so I got a task for you, something that'll take you far away from here. We've long since sought to gain the favor of the Tuskarr native to Northrend. Recently, a young Tuskarr came to us seeking help, something we couldn't offer at the time, but now that you're around, maybe you can lend him a hand. Sure.
Honored friend.
May the light
Hey,
embrace.
not so fast there. I don't know about you, but I was hardly convinced by the general's words. They rung unsure, as if they were not his own. Something is amiss here. All our efforts to collaborate have been blocked and delayed. It is time we took a more independent approach. If we're to learn more about the cultists inside the keep, perhaps we should investigate those outside. Intelligence reports a small group of them aiding the Scourge north of here. See if they carry any clues.
Favor the road traveled by few.
You got it. That I'm not sure of, but at this point in history, I wouldn't be surprised if this was an oversight, Magister. Wrath is when they started really taking the story seriously. But again, it's when they started taking the story seriously, you know? The concept of consequences and flow-through and continuity and consistency wasn't really at the top of everyone's minds yet.
What can I do for you?
Antivenom.
See you later.
Oh, thank you. This man's recovery will be slow, but we won't lose him. You found cultists? You better notify someone and bring some evidence.
Safe travel.
I wouldn't worry about it. Notice, by the how the turn-in for this quest, on the off chance you didn't pick up the quest in the actual ship, the turn-in for the quest that sent you in there tells you to go back in and do that. So we're starting to see more actual quest design, like we would see more often later, what I usually refer to as quest flow. So, cool. Not too shabby, actually. Let me jot down some notes really quick. Okay, so now let's kill some people, which is, you know, what we're here to do. All we want is X of Y. Get some... Actually, no, hang on. This is just for you, Yura. We're going to get some Yura-appropriate music going on here. Let's do it. Let's do it. Look, you're the one who says this is a beat 'em up, Yura. We gotta beat him up. No! I didn't want to fight you. Go away. Alright, let's see if we can find any cultists. Hello, cultists. Hello? And then oh, I see cultists. You can always tell cultists. They're right there. What's up? Ow. That actually hurts. Wow. What do we find here? I can't read any of it. Oh, well, I'm sure it's fine. Here there. Nice job. Show the lads how it's done. The only good creeper is a dead creeper.
Fuck with you.
We've done a good job of holding the front lines against these bugs. Some of these cheeky fiends, however, can fly over the aforementioned front lines, not really beating down our inner defenses. I've requisitioned reinforced fishing nets from our civilian ships. If you got enough of a throwing arm, they'll help you knock the enemies out of the sky.
Be good.
You want me to... Okay. Blood shaman, more than meets the eye. Ripping out all the blood of all the people. Sorry. Hem.
The Naru have not forgotten.
Oh, you're back. Be discreet. We cannot look at this evidence in front of prying eyes. I mean, but I got it right here, man. No, shut up.
Remember the lessons of the past.
I'm afraid I must delegate this matter to one of my operatives, someone who can work in secret. Keep the evidence with you. Take it to Vindicator Yala. Tell her I sent you, and we will speak of this matter to no one else. We do not know who is working for the cult.
Do not lose faith.
I do. It's Yura! Yura, why did you do it? Why did you join the cult of the damned? Okay. Hit a lip. I mean, given this economy, yeah. Don't blame you. We all need work, right? Oh, I actually have to kill them. Okay. I guess I'll kill them. Ugh, whatever. What a bother having to kill enemies in a Warcraft game. Ugh. I say again, ugh. Sorry. Thankfully, they got a little better about these type of quests over the years. The point-up quests. Because the point-up quests kind of suck a little bit. Because you have to do this. Still. Yeah, I'm trying to think where to even start this sentence. A lot of people list Wrath as the best expansion. In fact, oftentimes over the last few months, honestly, as we've been getting ready for this run, one of the most common questions I would ask is, which expansion do you think will rate the best? And consequently, which one do you think will rate the worst? And almost universally, the answer almost everyone gave for best was Wrath. Probably because so many people have so many fond memories of Wrath. One moment.
Talk to me.
We'll beat them if they come by land. We'll beat them if they come by air. If these come by sea, we're going to give them the beating of their lives.
Watch your back.
The Scourge are showing no sign of letting up. It's those blasted sinkholes. They connect to the tunnels all the way to Icecrown for all we know. Giant undead worms burrow under the ground to create them. If there's something years of mining has taught me, it's that without support beams, tunnels will cave in easily after an explosion. Take these explosives, plant them at the entrance and the sinkholes on the ridge, and they'll come back after you've collapsed them. Yeah, sorry, a lot of these quests are very rapid fire, so I don't actually have a lot of time to talk. Which is a good thing. Dead air is, as always, my enemy. I'm just going to go ahead and plug these holes here. Don't mind me. Why, yes, I just put an entire cart of explosives from my pocket directly into the burrow. I don't see anything wrong with that. What? How did that not... Oh, right, I see what happened. There we go. Also notice there's multiple sinkholes here you can put them into. Why is that good? It helps with players. You know, multiple players want to get objectives at the same time.
Interest ya in a pint?
Excellent work. Without you, Valiant's keep might not have held against the attackers. Yeah, I agree with that. Thanks to your help, we'll live to fight another day.
Watch your back.
My lads should be able to take it from here. Valiant's keep is built to take a beating far worse than this. I worry over our farmlands and mine in Farshire, however. We've sent a full detachment to protect our mining operations right before the invasion. They should be able to defend the civilians. Gerald Green's in charge of them, and there's a passage out of the northern wall. It'll take you straight to him.
Off with you.
Sure. What do you want?
How are you?
Hey, there's a girl in the inn that's asking about you, Larissa? I don't think she knows you, but she said she needs help, and she sounded really desperate.
Have a good one.
Okay. So, first of all, it's $15 an hour, plus expenses. Here's the list of things I won't do. Damn it, Linnea. One moment. I need to take notes. This is ridiculous. One second. Okay.
Hi, how are you?
Okay, we'll
Very
accept
good.
that go-to. We'll come back to that. Listen, are you a time walker? Kira White Nose, be honest with me. You gotta tell me if you're a time walker.
How are you?
Thank you for coming to see me. I didn't know how else to contact.
See you around.
I recently received word from William Allerton, a family friend, that my brother enlisted in Valiant's Keep on the same day he did. Thing is, my brother's been dead for years. I sold everything I owned to come looking for Thessarian, only to be stonewalled by local bureaucracy. I've even been threatened to be arrested if I keep snooping around. I need someone with good graces of the higher-ups, someone like you. If you can help me. I heard William's stationed at the Farshire Mine.
See you later.
Oh my god, Valerian, you are fired.
Interesting.
Okay, so this is the quest we will actually not be doing. We'll be doing the Mage War on the Horde. So we'll just leave that as is and move on. There it is.
Good fortune.
Yes?
Be well.
Speak quickly. What information do you have on the cult? I think that Mr. Redfellow is part of the Cult of the Damned.
Good health. Long life.
I've made it my business to learn as much as possible about the vile death cult, including their secret language. Voran was right. The cultists mentioned disguised operatives in various locations in Valiant's Keep. The lower docks, the jail, and the kitchen. Here, take this Oculus. Use it at those locations. Anyone who has recently used necromancy will be enshrouded by a dark aura. Take care of the cultists before something nefarious happens.
Remember the lessons of the past.
Need help? For the Alliance.
And the guy just says, well, I suppose this is it then. I won't go down quietly. That's okay. It actually counts for me because the sharing is better. We're still not there. As I've mentioned several times, the sharing won't get to the point of actually being good until, you know, Warlords, which is a while from now. But it'll get there. Vom, vom, vom.
Hey there.
What do you know about the Cult of the Damned?
See you around.
You don't know who you're messing with, Death Knight. Death beckons. Yeah, I do. I'm right here. I'm literally right here. What is he on about? The cooks must be defeated. They will be the death of us all. Oh, right, down. Yep.
What can I do for you?
My shift's over. Can't wait to get some shut-eye, know what I mean? How long have you worked for the Cult of the Damned?
Have a good one.
Finally, the charade is over. Arthas, give me strength! You guys gonna comment on what we just did? Okay, just checking. Oh, I did, Lanira. As pointed out earlier, we probably shouldn't have even gotten in the front gate.
Krona Kai Christor.
You've done well. However, I can't shake the feeling this is not the last we've seen of these death cultists. Yeah. Yeah, let's just ignore that for the
Favor
moment.
the road traveled by few.
I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure... Look, you're worrying too much. It's cool. It's cool. There's no death cultists here. See? I'm a life cultist. Big difference. What the hell would a life cultist even look like? It's always death cults, right? It's always like, death to everything, including us. So naturally, she's defending herself with a broom. She's also got the old human model, which you can tell because it looks like that. Anyways. It's okay, these have the old human model, too. Behold its glory.
Greetings.
You here to help? Just in time, then.
See you later.
There's Scourge everywhere, Death Knight. We've organized the farmers and miners into a militia, but it won't cut it. The one detachment of troops that Valiant's Keep said is defending the mine, and we haven't heard from them in days. Want to go help us? Why don't you go to the mine, see what's going on, and maybe get some frickin' reinforcements? Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, that's a great game. There it is. What the? Plagued grain? Oh no. The sack of grain emanates the foul stench you've come to associate with the plague. This probably explains what happened to the footmen defending the mine. Huh. Oh hey, I'm already halfway there. To something I will never use. The corpse matches the description Larissa gave of William Allerton. Oddly enough, there's no bite or claw marks on him. His neck has been cut by a sharp object. Further inspection reveals a single clue, an enlistment card bearing the name of William Allerton. Huh. Yeah, I just had that random thought as I was like, hey, I can have my cake and eat it too here. I'm going to stop making fun of the music now, but I just got to say I can't wait to be done with this zone and be onto a zone that has better music. Hey, so those reinforcements aren't coming.
Can I help you?
This poor lad's never had a chance. Sounds like the insider job. Probably that cult of the damned. Curse those madmen.
For the Alliance.
Well, with the last of our military dead or worse, we can do but one thing. Fight them ourselves! We have deployed militia in what remains of Farshire, but without your help, they've got little hope of winning. Go lend them a hand. Okay.
Be careful.
You need something?
I heard what you told Gerald, and I don't like it one bit. If the cultists managed to poison the grain in the mines with the foul plague, they could have easily done so with the grain outside. We don't have time to sort good grain from bad. We must act quickly and burn it all. Okay, let's go burn Strathel. I mean, Farshire. I hate to re-emphasize this point, but once again, notice that the keep would have fallen if we didn't show up, and then their only outpost and source of food would have fallen if we hadn't shown up. Yeah. I mention all of this because some of this is done on purpose and some of this is not. But the idea here is that several people, especially on the Horde side, will take they'll take ownership of and credit for their glorious victory over the Northrend, which we handed to them. And there's a very strong vibe in Northrend of the public story versus the real story. And obviously we as the players know the real story, but most of the public has no idea what actually happened out here. So, if, for example, you know, the Varian will essentially solidify his position as king of the Alliance because of his victory in Northrend. The same Varian who refused to help in Ulduar, by the way, just to make that very fundamentally clear. By contrast, Garrosh will ride the wave of populism here to become war chief of the Horde thanks to his victory in Northrend. They finally did it. They finally permanently defeated the Scourge. Yay. Thank you for the sub, Chris Vilkier. As always, if you want to put that towards up to 3 things of your choosing for future streams, please let me know.
You need something?
I was in charge of harvest golems, an important job until the Scourge destroyed most of our farmlands. I have an idea that would make the golems useful again, however. I think I can rewire them so they'll give us a fighting hand. It's this trick I learned back in Westfall. I'm not an expert at this just yet, so I'm going to need my manual. Problem is I left it at the workshop, which happens to be next to a burning building. Could you go salvage it, please?
See you later.
Actually, yes, Bragwin. Oh, wow. There's a thought, Mr. Red. Fields, factories, and workshops. Oh. There's like nothing here. Oh god, they're all gone. Oh, whatever, let's go ahead and start burning some stuff. I mean, it's one of those things, right? It's frustrating, but it's a decent story, and it makes a weird amount of sense, right? Hell, how many people ever found out what happened at the top of Icecrown Citadel? Like 5? Oh yeah, so Death Knight's added this brand new tech to the game. I haven't really talked about that yet. It's called Yank! Some people refer to it as, get over here! If I have to explain why, then I got nothing. It was legitimately new tech, though. They had to invent a new way to kind of, I don't want to say physics things, but like, WoW, up until relatively recently, didn't really have a true physics engine in any real sense of the word. So simulating physics wasn't a thing, so instead, they had to do this thing where it's like, okay, hang on. Reposition, do animation, and do this. So it's like 3 or 4 scripts all happening at the same time. Now it happens rapid fire because this is still WoW. But still, it was a good change, and it adds for some interesting maneuverability because some tanks will go to the enemy. Death Knights make the enemy come to them. That's not even a Russian joke, that's just straight up how they operate. And it does change how a Death Knight plays compared to every other tank. 1 second. Baldur's Gate 3. Bioshock 2, I think? Hang on, could someone do me a favor, check the list and see which Bioshock is on there? And Armored Core 6. It is 2. Okay, thank you. Making sure. Okay.
You need something?
You've communicated with the Scourge in the only language they understand. Violence and death.
See you later.
The Scourge just keep coming, but we can't give up. Listen, Marrowfrost, inside that mine is a cart with the last of the ore the Alliance are going to see this side of continent for a long time. Problem is the cart release is locked. When the military went in there, Captain Jacobs commandeered all the important equipment, including the key.
See you
Okay.
around.
Hey there.
That's a sobering thought, actually, isn't it?
Have a good one.
For all the repairs and equipment and upgrades and just horseshoes they're going to have for the next however long, you get 1 cart of ore, make it work. That's an interesting question, Linnerth. Tell me, who do you think is physically going to Icecrown Citadel to see that it's active in any way, shape, or form?
Hello.
Who do you think is even capable of going there?
Safe travels. Have a good one.
Okay, I got it. The rewiring is a little complicated, but nothing a clever Death Knight like you can't handle. How do you know I'm a Death Knight? Take my tools and put some of the harvest collectors out of commission. Once they're down, use the tools to plug all the red wires into blue sockets. Then they'll go into self-defense mode.
Safe travels.
Okay. Excuse me. Oh, okay. You know, that's a fair point. My eyes are glowing. I accept ownership of this. That's an interesting point, Linerith. I suppose no is my automatic answer for that, but I'm thinking from the perspective of pragmatism. Maintaining a foreign base is extraordinarily expensive, even in real life. And in real life, we have things like planes and, you know, mass transit. I imagine that both the Horde and Alliance were so completely devastated by this war, which it's worth noting they were, that neither really occurred to them to be like, hey, let's establish a base up there. And anybody who actually tried probably died immediately because the third Lich King was like, no, 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 no.
What can I do?
I mean, if you remember, when we go there as a mage and legion, his response is, all right, I'll allow you to continue existing unless you die, in which case you're going to serve me. And it was said, like, I didn't get it across, because it's so blunt the way he says it. It's just, okay. If you fail, you become one of my minions.
See you around.
Okay. Go away.
Hello.
So, here you go.
See you around.
You think William's death was a random killing by the Scourge? Things seem fishy. Something's up. We need to find Thessarian.
See you later.
Poor Mr. Allerton may yet help us find my brother. She unveils a luminous book, not unlike a ledger. Look, I borrowed it, okay? Let's see, does that enlistment card have a date? William saw Thessarian at the enlistment line. Their entry must be near each other. Here it is. He was assigned to Unit S? All other military units are named after Alliance Town. Who's in that unit? Where are they deployed? We need rumors. See if the innkeepers heard anything.
Safe travels.
Yeah, we'll actually meet the Westfall Brigade later. They're pretty cool, actually.
You need something? See you later.
Can't say I can help you, friend, but I might know someone who
Have a
can.
good one.
In the military, the military was all that old man Colburn had. After he retired, he still clung to it like a lifeline. He's just the name of every general, unit, brigade, detachment, you name it. He's the man you need. Problem is, his mind is scarred. He won't talk to anyone unless he gets his Coltirus wine. Takes him back to the times when he was a Marine. I haven't received a shipment in months. The last merchant ship out of Coltiras sunk northeast of here.
Safe travels.
That's right. This is before they decided what was going on with Coltiras. Oh, adventurers and looters would absolutely go there. I don't think any of them would survive, though. That's an interesting story hook, though, isn't it? What? What the? Come here. Alright, we're gonna go loot the Citadel. It's gonna be great. Bobby? Yeah, what's up? Why are there undead all over the place? It's okay, they're just the roaming damned. Don't worry about them. Okay. Are you sure? Yeah, why? Well, they're all looking at us. Of course they are. We're the living. Come on. Relax, we're just here to loot. Okay. Bobby? Yeah, what's up? I need to tell you something. Ugh, what? I'm actually a member of the Cult of the Damned, and I serve the Lich King. Oh. Am I dead? Yeah, but the good news is you get to keep being my friend afterwards. Well, god damn it. Oh, I actually forgot a quest. Whoops. I should probably go do that quest really quick. Sorry. Alright. Yeah, listen. It's my religion to kill cultists, so you gotta respect my religion. Yeah, we haven't looked at Death Knight talents yet. We will... what level are we? We will pretty soon. we're already at a level where we can kind of start gauging some of the Lobby talents. Right. No, I'm pretty sure the Cult of the Dam actually stopped existing as a group after the events of Wrath. Unlike the Twilight Hammer, which always has a reason to keep existing, the Cult of the Dam was always a vehicle of the Scourge. Plus, we sort of kill, like, all of them. At least all the ones who weren't still infiltrators. That would be an interesting story, too. Imagine you're a loyal Cult of the Damnedest, and you're an infiltrator, so you're just hanging out in Stormwind, you know, selling cheese or something, right? And then you get word that everything, you know, oh my god, they've destroyed the Lich King in Northrend, and you're like, bull crap they have. But then no orders come. No one tries to contact you, and like a year passes, 2 years pass, and you're like, maybe they did kill him. What do you do at that point? Because the whole reason you joined the Cult of the Dam was because you were disenfranchised with your government. And now, like, not only is your government in an even worse state than before, because remember, your country is screwed because of the Northrend campaign, economically. But also, the only group you could flee to has abandoned you. Oh god, what if that's why the Twilight Hammer cult had such an increase in membership between Wrath and Kata? That's a thought.
Hey there.
I thank you, Marrowfrost. This ore will be of vital importance to the Alliance in times to come. I'd like to think we made a difference today.
For the Alliance.
That's it, then. With the last of the ore you salvaged, we have enough to send to the keep. If Farshar is wiped off the face of Azeroth, let us be remembered as the first ones to defend our land, and the last ones to give up.
Be careful.
What's on your mind?
What do you have there?
Watch your back.
Ore from Farshar. We weren't scheduled for a shipment yet. Is something wrong?
Be good.
Farshar's on the run, and that's all Geralt can think of is getting me his ore shipment. I swear that man has as much heart as our soldiers on the front lines. We cannot let the civilians lose their lands if they're willing to fight for them. We might not have troops to spare, but we can send them weapons. Here, these were earmarked for new recruits, but I'll be able to cover those with the ore you brought me. Send word to Geralt that weapons are on the way.
Off with ya.
What would be really funny is like there's an NPC who's like, I'm joining the Burning Blade, and it's like, oh, you know what? I don't like the Burning Blade. I'm gonna join the Shadow Council instead. Yeah. Wait, what? Why did nobody tell me? And like that, and he's like, okay, you know what? Screw you. I'm gonna join the Argent Wake instead. And he gets there. What?
You need something?
Hilda's sending us weapons. That's excellent news. I was about ready to tell the lads to pack it up.
Have a good one.
Farshar has a fighting chance now. That's all we could ask for you. We need a rallying point. I need you to go do a Warcraft 3 mechanic for me. Could you do that, please? You got it.
Greetings.
Thanks once again for aiding us, Marrowfrost. The people of Farshar will always remember you.
Have a good one.
You're welcome. I have a plus to story for being good stuff. Call that Prime Opt. Simple but solid. I like that. But now, let's go get the truth of an old sea dog. What level are we? 22. Okay. Hold down that for another moment.
You need something?
Hey, I got you some wine.
Have a good one.
Not too bitter, not too dry. It's like the old days with the lads at the barracks.
See you around.
Unit S. Unit S. Don't make any sense. Or be named after a town. Darkshire was sent to Dragonblight. Goldshire was sent to the Fjord. What did I hear? Oh, yeah! The deserter. There's a turntail in the barracks prison. Got thrown in not too long ago. Kept saying S stood for suicide.
See you later.
Okay, well, let's go see what he has to say.
How are you?
What do you want? Having a problem as is.
Safe travel.
I'll be the good cop. I'll rip out your eyeballs and eat them. Listen, stop beating him up, Mr. Red. God. Hi, Tom Red. Listen, Marifrost, no offense, but the operation they put this area in charge of was pure suicide. A handful of our men were to launch an attack on the biggest scourge presence in the area. Call me crazy. Storming a ziggurat outside a plagued city with a dozen men isn't my idea of fun. If you're still interested in fighting this area, we're supposed to arrange passage east here by the Tuskar. Good luck.
See you around.
Bonk, bonk, bonk. Okay. Here, get a few punches in, Mr. Red. Real quick, real quick. Just before we go. Just get out of your system. Get out of your system. Okay, we're good. Remember, deserters are bad. Not because of cowardice or honor or anything like that, but just because it's hard to maintain military cohesion when someone decides to turncoat. So we're not... Hang on. Yeah, okay, let's just keep going with this. So the interactive objects really move if you interact with them pre-Wrath. I don't think so, Yura. I think Wrath invented that, or iterated that. Hello?
I will hear you.
I remember the man of which you speak. He bore the marks of Karkut. May Karkut protect our fallen.
May your nets...
Oh, the Tuskars are legit, don't at me. The man you speak of went far to the east, to a place near the coast of Deathstrand, beyond Unape. Be careful if you go in search of him. He bore the mark of Karkut, he who watches the dead.
Good hunting.
But, while you're here, help us. No.
Travel the wastes with care.
Bye. I'll help you later, bye. I will. Later. We gotta maintain story cohesion. It's terrible, Mr. Red. Oh, it's so horrible. No, I know it was you because of the shoulders. Immediate giveaway.
Hey there.
Thessarian? Yeah, he was here. What of it? We have more pressing things right now.
Be careful.
Our situation is nearly hopeless. We were ordered to take a whaling ziggurat with a handful of men. We'll be lucky if we can actually hold this position. We're outnumbered, injured, and have no escape route. If you can take some of the pressure off us, we'll be able to solidify our position. Kill some of the undead circling our structure, and we'll hold off the advance.
See you later. What can I do for you?
We're lucky we made it this far. We were ambushed by Scourge as soon as we landed. One of our men turned out to be a spy for the Cult of the Damned. The Sarian appears to have more evidence of cultist infiltration. I don't know, it apparently goes all the way to the top. Oh my god, Varian's a cultist of the Damned? Actually, that makes a lot of sense. I've sent one of my best couriers to the outpost in Western Dragonblight, but he hasn't returned. I fear he may have fallen to the Scourge. Will you go to the Dragonblight and search for him? Yeah, I'll go for Dragonblight. Later.
For the Alliance.
Unless that's a now thing. Hang on. That might be a now thing. Nope, that is not a now thing. We'll deal with that later. Come on, it's just one ziggurat. You could take one ziggurat with 12, footmen, right? I'm actually not sure if you can. We should test that at some point. Not that I have Warcraft 3 installed, or the ability to install it right now. I guess I could fire up StarCraft too. Wah, wah. I should do that. Oh, no, I agree. Robostall. Absolutely. World of Warcraft, for the most part, still looks good today, and that's kind of an important point. Obviously, if you don't like the visual style, you don't like the visual style, and that's just going to be that. But if you don't dislike the visual style, this still pops. Hello? Hi.
You need something.
No time for small talk. Okay. I was sent on what was supposed to be a suicide mission to take this ziggurat. I have accomplished my duty as a soldier. Oh my god. He took the ziggurat by himself. The Lich has knowledge I seek, yet I cannot inflict pain to his physical body to obtain that knowledge. The Lich stored his soul in a phylactery, and while it remains hidden, I won't be able to pry the information from him. Return to camp and take my horse. She will lead you to the phylactery.
Another time.
You okay there, buddy? Also, these are the best-looking liches in the entirety of fiction. Don't at me. Those are the vanilla models, but the later models are even better. Hey, I did your job for you.
Can I help you?
That should buy some time, and hopefully we'll get some reinforcements. Yeah, those are not coming. Well, you helped us out, so I figure it's only fair we help you out. You're looking for Thessarian? Yeah, he disappeared this morning. We think he went off to the Wailing Ziggurat. If I hadn't fought side by side with him, I would even think he was a traitor. See, he's a Death Knight. I know they're on our side and all, but it wasn't too long ago they were servants of Arthas. But not Thessarian, he's a good guy. That's why he's all doomy and gloomy for some stupid reason. Hi.
Leave me be.
Speak, Lich. Undeath won't save you for when I'm putting through. I'll put you through. Lich is like, nah, I'm good. Yeah, to my great and utter dismay, even though I was playing a paladin at the time, I failed to secure that suit. I was playing during the Wrath launch event, too. It legitimately never occurred to me that it wouldn't come back, so I didn't bother. I know, FOMO, but still. Speaking of someone who has several things you can't get anymore. Yeah. I wish they'd bring that crap back. WoW is very seasonal in its approach. And I do think it is to its detriment. Oh, hey, look. It's the distracting wisps. It's actually funny. Oh, Jesus. I mean, my interface is a little bit full because this is how I prefer it. Although I do find it funny that people think this is too busy of an interface because those people have not seen actually busy interfaces.
What?
You're back. Did you get the phylactery?
We are done here.
Just in time. Pinning down a lich is not as easy as it looks.
Suffer well.
Now that I have the phylactery, I shouldn't have any problems getting the information I need. It won't take long for the Scourge in the Temple City to notice something's up, however. I won't be able to fend off a full-scale attack. Well, maybe I would, but I'd rather not find out. I want you to head down there and inflict some casualties. Hopefully, they'll be distracted long enough for these two to spill their guts. Figuratively, of course.
We will ravage this land.
Are you sure? Okay. Making sure. I don't know. I was playing with no add-ons for a while there, and just to test the experience. I think it's like Oblivion. Everyone says you need add-ons for Oblivion, but you don't. really. It just, they make the experience better, right? And that's pretty much the double-edged sword of add-ons in general. If you have add-on support, well, then add-ons are probably going to make your game better. And that's just how it is. Anyways, now that I finally have a moment to chat, let's talk about why Varian sucks. So, Varian was invented for a comic book. Before that, he was just the king of Stormwind, and in some random hole, surrounded by Naga in a zone nobody did anything in. Now, that was a plot chain. In fact, it was all the way back in vanilla. There was an additional quest chain that kept going after the Defias chain that led up to finding out that the Defias had been hired by Onyxia in order to go steal Varian away and then, like, do stuff with him or something. And that's kind of all that went to, because it was a completely abandoned plot thread for all of vanilla and then for all of BC. Then the comic came out. Now, I'm going to go and say that I kind of hate that comic. But there's actually several specific reasons why. First of all, it's not very well written and not very well constructed. It's very comic booky, which I suppose makes sense, but I stand by my overall complaint. But that's really the minor complaint there, because the real complaint was it decided to go ahead and say, you know what? Got it. You know, one of the most iconic things in WoW history, one of the things that people have been doing since vanilla, one of the things there's an entire quest chain for, let's just throw all that crap out the window and say that Varian did it all himself, because he is just that awesome. His dick, it's so huge. It's so huge. And so, the entire Onyxia quest chain, which was not an insubstantial quest chain, was effectively thrown out the window, and it was just, Varian did it. I could go into more detail, but I don't feel the need to. Varian did it, is really the summary there. And yeah, they gave the Onyxia kill to Varian. By himself, by the way, because his dick is just so big. You don't even understand. It's so big. The idea here was that Onyxia cast a super-duper mega ultra spell that split Varian into two people. His soft half and his evil half. And his evil half went off to be the guy who was called Logosh, the guy who would fight in the arena. Whereas his soft half was still back in Stormwind the whole time. Sure, wink, wink. And was being controlled by the Lady Prestor, a.k.a. Onyxia. It's, oh god, it's very Star Trek TOS. Yeah, exactly, Mr. Ed actually got there before I did. It's a very bad Trek episode. It wasn't great. And it also was kind of a personal affront to players. Point in fact, I forget where, but I'll never forget at some point, they actually acknowledged how much of a mistake that was, handing player accomplishments to an NPC. And they said they were never going to do that again. And they actually have accomplished never doing that again, so I'll give them credit on that. One second, one of my add-ons is literally in the wrong spot. Let's scooch that up there. Focus target needs to be somewhere else. No, player isn't over here. Player's over here. There we go. And then target is up here. No wonder my bars are wrong. That goes. Now you can officially say my bar is busy. I'll accept that. There we go. And then focus goes over here. There we go. Okay, lock that, and we're good. Exactly, Dantles. But no, it's just... It's a whole thing. And the comic sucked. And so the result was people who didn't pay attention to the lore didn't give a crap about Varian, and the people who did hated his guts before he even showed up on camera.
Get on with it.
That should buy us a time. Isidorus has been cooperative, but I really need alone time with that lich.
Tomorrow is
The lich has spoken. The high priests of Enkila hold the secrets to entering Naxanar. Hang on. That one. Go to the Spire of Blood, Spire of Pain, and Spire of Decay and slay this priest.
Leave me be.
Okay, I can do that. I mean, if they leaned into it and actually made, the comic ridiculous, I probably would have enjoyed that. They didn't. They were trying a little bit too hard to be a little bit too serious. I think that was partially an anniversary thing too, Magister, but yeah. They didn't even change the fight, too. It's just, hey, here's Onyxia, but scaled up. Okay. Anyways. So, Varian was just kind of a nothing burger until he finally started making some online presence. And we will be talking about him a bit, because he does have a bit of a presence in Wrath. Spoilers. He's awful in Wrath. Like, I legitimately don't know what the hell they were thinking when they decided to make him just this cantankerous, warmongering jackass. That's a lie. I know exactly what they were thinking. The idea was they wanted to try and gradient things a little bit more. Bragwin might be here, Talmud, but otherwise I'm not sure. Don't mind me. Oh, Necro's in here. Ooh. Yeah, no, Varian's a barbarian. A barbarian king. And as I've discussed many times, he is not what you'd call a good leader. Where to get the thing in here? Is it just off one of the Necros? I guess what I'm trying to say is... I guess I should unfocus. I actually like the idea of Varian being a warmongering jackass. And that kind of dragging the Alliance down. Not because I want the Alliance to be more evil, but because I want the Alliance to have more character. And having an evil warmongering jackass as your High King, and having to have other people slowly pushing against that, and having the resultant tension within the Alliance, that sounds interesting. You know? They didn't go that route with it. Instead, he's a warmongering, cantankerous jackass. I think you're right, Mr. Red. And then, he's not. Now, he did become an interesting character eventually, but, like, that's it. Like, really listen to his speech sometime about how he can't wait to exterminate all the orcs on the face of the planet. And then really tell me for a second that they didn't change their mind with his arc substantially. Oh god, I don't even want to talk about the fact that they... yeah, so anyways, Varian has never really been a particularly good character. Like, there's some individual moments of him being a good character. And then there's everything else which doesn't connect with everything else. It's just, it's a mess. This one might be up as well. Oh, nope. I remember this one. I mean, it would make sense that Onyxia was trying to influence whoever was in charge, but frankly, I never thought Onyxia had anything to do with Anduin. Like, Anduin was always just over there on the side. Bolvar was who Onyxia was influencing. Any impetus in-game for that change? No. Like, Varian's arc goes from... Let me think about that for a second. Because he didn't have much presence in Cata, not really. So we see him in Wrath, where he's like, I want to genocide the orcs. I'm really not putting words into his mouth, by the way. He really does talk about how he wants to kill every orc. That really is where that's at. Oh. One moment, please. Anyways, hang on.
Make it quick.
Taking your time, are you? I don't know how much longer I can keep this lich restrained. Dude, I'm going as fast as I can. I served Arthas in death because I had no choice. He had control over my will and my body. The cult of the damned serves Arthas in life willingly. Now that we know the words of power to enter Naxanar, we can put an end to the cultist blight. Go and look for the teleportation orb beneath the floating citadel. Work your way up into the top and arm yourself with what courage you can. We might not make it out alive.
We are done here.
Okay, Suicide Squad, right? Woo, Suicide Squad. We're gonna go kill Superman. With a boomerang and a really good shotgun. I shouldn't actually fly up. I'll go ahead and do this legit. I can remember where the damn thing is. There we go. Oh, and a sniper. That's really going to turn the tide against Superman. He might notice the bullet hit him from a mile away. They'll probably hear it before it comes, too. Anyways. Are all OG Death Knights from Warcraft 2 dead? I think Gorefiend was the last one, yeah. If there's any survivors, I don't know about it. Now, they could reasonably say that at least one survivor might still remain. Like, it's not that hard to say that someone's been surviving and hiding all these years. But I kind of hope they don't, because it's been, like, 40 years now since Warcraft 2. That would be funny, believable. So hang on. So Robostal asked a question which I clearly didn't understand. People were speculating how much influence Onyxia had on Anduin and the way he became a leader. So I said Blar, and then you said, no, I mean Anduin having an example of leadership. So you're saying that Anduin learned his leadership styles from Onyxia. The problem is I don't see any of that at all. Like, Anduin, ironically, is also not much of a leader. Funny how much that keeps happening. He might have learned how abuses of power look. That I'll actually give you. Because he was there while Onyxia was doing all kinds of fun stuff. And Lord knows, you know, Bolvar was whatever. Greymane tried to help him, but that probably hurt him more than anything else. No, exactly, Blade Tavor. Like, there's not a lot of good individual leaders in this setting. There are a few. There are. Ironically, most of them are not in positions of leadership. Yeah, exactly, Robostal. No, I tend to agree with that assertion. I don't think Anduin ever had a good role model. In fact, to be perfectly frank, one of his better role models was probably Varrock. Which makes a degree of sense why Varrock showed up in that one cutscene in Shadowlands. It's one of the only good things about that cutscene, was that it was Varrock and Borean, his two father figures, right? His two examples.
Get on with it.
Let's do this, Assyrian. It's now or never.
Tomorrow is another day.
Yeah, I remember when this was pretty hard, too. I'm gonna shush for a second. Yeah, 3 Death Knights. Hey, it's Counselor Talbot. What a shock. Can I get some lore shocks?
My liege, the infiltration and control of the Alliance power structure by our cultists is well underway. The power you've bestowed upon me has granted me great mental influence over human minds. I bear these offerings as proof of my progress. Larissa! What have you done to my sister? You motherless hell scum!
Also the General.
Now this is a surprise, Thessarian. I hadn't heard from Mograine or the other Death Knights for months.
We were in Outland.
You've come to rejoin the Scourge, I take it.
I would sooner slit my own throat. You will pay for what you did to your own men, Arthas. For what you did to me! I swear it! Allow me to take care of the intruders, Lord. I will feed their entrails to the maggots.
Do not fail me, Sandlane. Return to Ice Crown with this fool's head, or do not bother to return.
Yes, my lord.
So yeah, this is actually functionally a dungeon boss. And this was pretty rough back in the day. You wanted a group for this. We're going to run over it, of course. Although it is actually doing some decent damage to Mr. Red over there, I can't help but notice. I don't have any of my, like, good abilities yet.
What happened to me? My head won't stop spinning. You're all right.
I thought you were dead.
Fun fact.
You need something.
You did well. I was hoping to leave. Oh.
Home with you just yet, Larissa. I am not quite done with this scourge.
Don't leave me again. You want to fight for your country, but they don't even want you. They sent you here to
Suffer
die.
well. You might be right, sister. My obligations to my land and king have been fulfilled. But there is
I
something
know
I
that
still
look
owe to
in your
myself.
eye. I'm not going to be able to talk you out of this. If you die on me again,
Do not worry, Larissa. I will come back to you when I am done. Nothing in the world will stop me from coming home to the only family that I have left.
Except the anniversary event! That's why that pissed me off so much. Right there. I have no family. Smack!
What?
You did well, Mira Frost. I was hoping to leave my sister out of this. Thanks to you, she is alive and well. My obligations to king and army have been fulfilled. It's... Okay. Well, the good news is he should still be down there for me to finish reading that stupid turn-in. Hypothetically. Wrath.
Make it quick.
My obligations to king and army have been fulfilled. It is clear I'm not welcome among my comrades anymore. I will have to find my own way, fighting no wars but my own. Oh, he's Senator Armstrong.
Another time.
He also gives you not only a good axe, especially at the level which you got it, but one of the best looking axes in the entire game, in my opinion. I mean that. It's just like something about the look of it, right? It's a giant freaking metal nail with a blade, a harsh, cold, like crude, brutalist shaped blade. Like there's no curve to that blade, right? It's just like bolted onto the side. Yeah, it's Wrath level textures, and it still looks badass. I love that thing. And yeah, he never returns to his sister. Why? Because he's an idiot. Ugh. Anyways. Moving on. It's a rail spike turned into an axe. Exactly. Okay, so we're going to go do a cleanup quest we didn't do earlier. So we talked about Varian and how much he sucks. I don't remember Varian having much presence in Kata. Garrosh has a couple of screen time moments in Kata. I don't remember Varian having many. Someone check me on this. Because Varian didn't start actually having character moments until Pandaria. I do remember that. And Pandaria is when they actually finally sat down and actually mapped out where they wanted a story to go before they started writing it. For the first time, I feel like adding. If you ever wondered why Pandaria directly foreshadows things in Legion, that's why. Yeah, I hate to go down this rabbit hole one last time, but just to make this very clear, one of the reasons I tend to be more Horde than Alliance is because the Horde has story, and the Alliance doesn't. You know? Like, that is exaggerative. But really think about the Horde exclusive story arcs. And then think about the Alliance exclusive story arcs. It's really clear where more of the effort was put into it. And to be clear, I do think that's a bad thing. The Alliance, I mean, the Horde has Stone Talon Peaks. The Alliance has Lakeshire. That's a bit of an exaggeration. Like, I'm kind of cherry-picking examples there, but you get my point. Yeah, the Alliance has so many possibilities for internecine conflicts and different culture groups clashing with each other. And you could do some of the more, like, boring stories that I really love, like economic stories, or cultural stories, or world-building stories, or stories of people trying to make it work when everything else is going against them. Like, the Alliance shouldn't just be the Alliance. Like, they're the freaking Federation. Except worse. Sorry. Just... Yeah, give me more politics. I'm sorry. But I'm not sorry at all. Give me more frickin' politics. Please. The Horde has a lot of really great story arcs. Like, everything to do with Garrosh, quite frankly. But also, you know, the very ideas of family and acceptance and burden and trauma and generational conflict. And the Alliance has... they're the good guys. It is. No, it absolutely is Blade Taval, in the interest of fairness. And Lord knows, WoW's story writers vary in quality, is the way I want to phrase that. So that's going towards Paper Mario Sticker Star. Let's see, Birch. Mina the Howler. And yeah, there is plenty of good individual story arcs on the Alliance. But like plot-wise, I mean, for God's sakes, the Alliance is a military dictatorship dominated by a power that was on the verge of actual extinction until about 20 years ago. That sells itself, in my mind. Like, there's so many story ideas that immediately branch out of that. You could have resentment. You could have diplomacy. You could have focusing on the mages. Maybe the humans were using their extensive magical power to try and enforce things. Maybe they held the keys to something in some way. Maybe they just had the leadership of certain groups working on things. Maybe there's a whole lot of, we need to help the poor humans because they just lost, you know, half of their entire species and kingdoms during Warcraft 3. Something, right? Yeah, also, what the hell's going on with Gnomeregan? Valerian brought this up on Discord earlier today. So for those of you not aware, they've never retaken Gnomeregan. Why? Don't ask me. They have never taken Gnomeregan back. Now, they've kind of mentioned that they totally have Gnomeregan back in like 2 or 3 lines of dialogue anywhere. But yeah, no, the problem is Gnomeregan's a dungeon. And so they're like, oh, we can't turn a dungeon back into a city. And it's like, smash. God, you're dumb. Sorry. I mean, for Christ's sakes, excuse me for continuing down this rabbit hole, but let me really emphasize the Horde versus Alliance thing for a second, okay? So, there's Gnomeregan over there, right? It's a dungeon, and there's New Tinkertown. This is it. This is what the gnomes get. It's something. And that's about all I can say about that. It's something. They still don't have Gnomeregan because it's a dungeon. And so back in Cataclysm, there's something called Operation Gnomeregan and Battle for the something Echo Isles. And Operation Gnomeregan was a huge event. It was actually very fun. I participated in it on both sides. Operation Gnomeregan was like, we're going to go and we're going to take back Gnomeregan. It failed. It was funny, but it was a joke. And that's the gnomes in a nutshell. They are a joke race. So it failed because it was funny. Meanwhile, what did the Echo Isles did? Oh, that's right. They won. We retook the Echo Isles. This is the Echo Isles, and it is now this troll starter zone. Also, if I could be so bold, The Echo Isle story arc, while simple, is way better than the new Gnome story arc. Also references a quest nobody ever did back in Warcraft 3. Letting it go. You come to my aid. Thank you, Marrowfrost. They call themselves the Kvaldir. My people have legends about them. We call them the Tukharik. Oh god, that's really bothering me. Okay, you know what? Hang on. This is really, really bothering me. I'm just going to let this sit for a minute, see if it ever actually works. Because I don't know if this is what's causing it, but I'm really tired of this freaking flickering problem. It's very recent. It only started happening this last week. And I know it started happening after I did the reset on my options, my graphics options. So something somewhere is set wrong, and I haven't been able to figure out what it is. Let's see if it actually can figure it out. Like, technically I'm still here. I bet if Mr. Red was like to start attacking nearby, I could hear him. It's just the graphics is completely locked up, as you can see. Or not see, I suppose. Problem is, I look up, like, WoW flickering, and all I find is stuff from 5 years ago. Thanks, Google. You suck. Yeah, Shadowforge City. We can't have that be a city. What are you talking about? You get a room if you're a Dark Iron. Yeah, I can hear Mr. Red right now. Yeah, Kultiras, that's another one. Yeah, the Alliance has decided not to help the gnomes retake their thing. I remember there being like some random line somewhere about how the gnomes don't want any help retaking their land. And like that's why they haven't gotten help to retake their land. But even that's stupid, and also is built on a retcon itself, because you ever wonder why the gnomes weren't in Warcraft 3? Oh, it was because they were totally dealing with the Trogs. Uh-huh. No, it's because they weren't in Warcraft 3. Jesus Christ, people. Okay. Try this. Okay, so that seemed to have worked. That might be a good thing. Hang on. Stay off. It did stay off. Holy crap. Okay, let's get rid of all the rest of this crap. Listen, nobody talks about that point-and-click adventure game. Nobody. I'm going to give this a second to acknowledge that I changed that. Okay, we're going to assume that went through. I'm going to give this a second to acknowledge that I changed that. Okay, we're going to assume that went through. 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 God, this last patch has been so buggy. I chose such a great time to stream this game. Or more accurately, I was supposed to stream this game months ago, so don't look at me. And yes, I've given negatives for bugs before you ask. All off? Okay, that's all off. One last thing we're going to do. We're going to go back to DirectX 11. Okay. I'm now blind. Oh my god, okay, okay. Let's see how that feels. Where's the game? Oh god, where's the game? Hold on. What? Yeah, that was weird. Oh, Cataquests are going to be so much better. I'm so looking forward to that. I should know because I did a couple of Cataquests recently, and it was just such a breath of fresh air. I can't even put it into words. I know what you're thinking. Cataquests are pretty old, especially by modern standards, but man, going from Wrath to Cata is going to be a huge step up. Okay, let's see if we have more flickering. Just gotta keep an eye out for it, see if all of that fixed it. Hi. They call themselves the Kvaldir. We call them Walkers of the Fog. My village was destroyed by these giant mistmen. Everyone I knew was slain, including my father. Oh yeah, they work for Helia, by the way. They never really say that. You just gotta put that two and two together. By Tuscar law, I must seek retribution against those who shed my kin's blood. I am but a fisherman. I've not yet passed the test of manhood. I cannot stand toe-to-toe with a vile Kvaldir. Okay, yeah, sure, I'll go do it for you. Let's go killing! Woo! I don't see what the... Oh my god, there's fog. There's fog everywhere. There's so much fog. Oh my god. I can't see anything at all. Except for the blood of my enemies. So, I had to level several characters to level 10 in preparation for the run. And I was doing it off camera over the last couple of days. One of them started off in BC until I could make the trip to the portal in order to get to an actual, Cata zone. The moment I got to a Cata zone, oh my god, it was such a breath of fresh air. I think I'm the only person in the world who actually likes leveling in Cata. So I'm not super worried about that. But if you don't mind sharing why you didn't like leveling in Cata, I would love to hear it, Magister. Because Lord knows, you would not be the first person to tell me that Cata sucks. In fact, I've actually heard from a friend of mine that he thinks that Cataclysm will be the worst scoring expansion. It will not be. There's no way. I honestly am not sure anything's going to beat BC. We'll see. Cata will also be a lot of rapid firing, too. Cata zones are pretty small, all things considered. Which, for my purposes, is great. Let's see. While we're here, I had another thing I wanted to talk about, which is Wrath. Right, so Varian. Valerian, different guy. Different guy. Listen, Cata, cats, they're the same thing. Cats are cataclysms. Valerian was talking about how mind-blowing this was back in the day, and as much as I speak ill of Wrath, it really should be mentioned that, yeah, no, Wrath was a sea change. Even though this is still classic leveling, there was so much improvement to graphics and snappiness and quest design and story approach that Wrath felt like a brand new game after BC. BC, as we talked about, and as I showed over the last 70 hours, really was classic 2.0. It was vanilla with a little bit more polish. Now that's fine, and I'm not here to judge it for that, except I guess I am here to judge it for that. But the point is, Wrath was the beginnings of new WoW. It wasn't the end of old WoW, but it was definitely beginnings of new WoW. And you could really feel and see that. And so going through here was just, it's hard even to describe. in the modern perspective. So many people got out here to Wrath, myself included, and we were just blown away. It's like, oh my god, there's so much stuff, and it's cool, and it's awesome, and it's amazing. This is so cool. Like, I leveled so many characters through Wrath. Yeah, it was very transitional, for good and for bad. I prefer cold weather whenever I can, Talmurid. You've done my people a great favor. I must ask of you one more thing, however. Okay? My own father was slain by the leader of the raiding party, Gamel the Cruel. He's made his abode inside a cave on the beach. Finish what you started. Avenge my father, and I will share with you what little I have. Okay. Yeah, Wrath babies. Wrath was a pretty big boost in players, too. Not, I think, as big as BC's. BC's was a huge boost in players. But plenty of people picked up the game with Wrath. And I know plenty of people, this was their first expansion. And down you go. You did it. Spirits of the dead can now rest in peace, their deaths avenged. There's someone who might shed light on this mystery. It's rumored the Cavalier have kept a Naga priestess alive at the temple on the western shore. Oh, sorry, hang on. The fallen of Palea will not rest, my son. Find the Naga priestess. Huh? And now we go find the Naga priestess. Yeah, no, Wrath was, hey, you remember Frozen Throne? We're going to follow through on that. And Frozen Throne was a little popular. Have you come to mock me, dwarf? 500 years ago, Ashara imprisoned a being named Levithroth on the waters below. Now these barbarians seek to undo our queen's work. They took over our city and began to sacrifice my brethren to awaken him. When they ran out of Naga, they began to take Tuskar. Their spirits will know no peace. I will help you, for it'll go a long way towards quelling my vengeance. Their captain, Ragnar, dwells deep inside the northeastern Riplash. He has in his possession a golden trident. Bring it to me. Sure. Thanks for the underwater breathing thing. Listen, all I'm saying is that Cata Dungeon sucked at launch. Although it's actually, I don't actually think that's why. I've noticed that your complaint about Cata Dungeon and my complaint about Cata Dungeon are actually completely separate from each other. So I'll be curious to think of what you think of that when we get there. For the record, I absolutely intend to give Cataclysm launch negatives because of what they did to the dungeons early on. Or, more accurately, what they didn't do to the dungeons at all. Nice Night Elfin ruins here. Yeah, we as a group hated the Cata Dungeons at launch so much that every single one of my friends quit the game. I don't know how else to say that. They all quit because of the Cata Dungeons at launch. Do you have the trident? Yes, we will slay the Cavalier's beast. I will show these brutes never to cross a priestess of the scale. Raj Najan was the emperor of Riplash when Leveroth was imprisoned. Ashara herself blessed his trident, so it would slay the beast should it ever escape. And now you wield it. As much as it disgusts me, I will have my revenge on these barbaric giant men. Take the trident to the depths. You'll find Leveroth below. Drive the trident into his flesh and slay him. Return to whoever you sent when you're done. I wish to see no more of you. So, let me explain the 3 reasons why I hated Cata Dungeons, and will give it a negative for this. Reason number 1, threat gen. They nerfed tanks threat gen so hard and so far that tanking all of a sudden went from being something that could be done to something that couldn't. Like, whatever I tell you right now is not going to properly convey just how bad this nerf was to threat gen. It was awful. Like, a tank having to fight for threat, that's debatable. A tank being incapable of holding threat, that's unacceptable. Problem number 2. Regen. Mono regen. They nerfed healer mono regen into the goddamned ground. in Kata. And they really, really, really wanted healers to have to manage their mana again. They did this... The mana regen thing is probably my least complaint about that. But Innocence is my largest complaint about this. Thank you, Innocence, as always. I'll interrupt my interrupt. Hopefully I'll remember what the hell I was talking about in about 5 seconds when I type this up. Innocence. Hang on, I'm not at my 3rd point, Wrecker's Beard. So, Max Pain 3. Pokemon, Soul Silver. Oh yeah, this is all launch negatives. And automation. Thank you, Innocence. So, Threat Gen was awful. Mana Regen was awful. But honestly, the biggest problem by far, because it served as a multiplier, a magnifier to the other 2 problems, was the gear. There was this shelf, the ceiling, actually, of gear. We were not exactly under-geared. We had done dungeons, and we were good on dungeon gear, and we had done all the quests we could, and we had crafters trying to make stuff. And when we tried to break into Heroic, Heroic broke us. There was a gear shelf in between normal and Heroic that was far above and beyond what they ever did back in BC, or Vanilla, BC, or Wrath. Trying to get in Heroic dungeons was where we started running into problems. Because that's the thing. Everything I'm talking about was actually Heroic only. That was where the problems really started to rear their ugly heads. And so, if I can actually picture a specific pull, because it's the exact moment my friend Gary quit the game. He actually Alt F4'd. He was so mad about it. It was a pull in the Lost City of Tolvir. And it was, I think the 2nd pull in that dungeon. It's right to the right as you're first entering. So we sheeped, we trapped, and we rooted, and then we fought, I believe it was 2 mobs. By the end of those 2 mobs' death, when we finally knocked down both of them, the tank was on the verge of death, the mana was the healer was completely out of mana, and the CCs were starting to break, which they then did, and we couldn't keep up, and we wiped. And that was the end of that. I'm sorry, there is no possible changing my mind on this matter, because it was such an egregious shelf of a difference in between where we were and where we could be. And there was no bridging the gap, right? There was no getting gear other than doing heroics. And we couldn't reach the first boss. Kata is going to get launch negatives. Moving on. My people's spirit can rest in peace. You've helped me honor my father. Perhaps one day I'll be as strong as you are. I wouldn't count on it. Okay, so now we'll do the other Tuskar quests. God, it's so nice having Dragon flying out here. Ironically, Wrecker's Beard, I actually agree with you. I think smoothing over the gear curve would have fixed things more. Instead of just completely turning... It's WoW, right? That's what they do. Okay, hang on. This is a problem. And then we overcompensate for it. Oh, shoot, this is a problem. I mean, you remember the launch of BFA, right? No, of course you don't, because you weren't playing at BFA. But the launch of BFA was a perfect example of them massively overcompensating and completely screwing over everything. I actually quit my warrior in BFA because the changes to warrior and tanking in general were so bad that I got sick of it. It was actually no longer fun to play warrior. Because...
Well, let us visit for a while.
Cascala is a sacred place for us. Our ancestors were guided here by the spirit of Tayugdua herself. Now these fell creatures attack us from the mist without any provocation. We will show them that our spears are not merely for wailing. Okay.
Good hunting.
Let's go kill some Kvaldir then. Ugh. Like, I think I've made it clear as we've been talking. I actually like the idea of actually having properly difficult dungeons and proper pulls in said dungeons. I mean, one of my favorite dungeons of the stuff we've covered so far was Magister's freaking Terrace. I think I've made my point. Like, it can be fun to do a mulch dungeon, but frankly, I don't actually think that should be the norm. Or if it is, that should be the norm in, like, normals, right? Like, that's what normal's there for. That's there to, you know, experience the story. I'm fine with that. No judgment. But, like, can we have heroic actually be heroic? I mean, even mythic isn't really heroic at this point. At least not that I saw back in Dragonflight. Yep, okay, we can kill these. One of my favorite wipes during the acclimation patch. So let me walk that back a second. So obviously a lot of these individual class changes and mechanic changes all went in with the acclimation patch, which went live before Cataclysm itself goes live. That's normal. So the acclimation patch for Cata went live, and me and my team, we went to do just a 10-man ice crown just for funsies, right? We couldn't actually do it. Now, you can make fun of us for that if you want to, but I will never forget one of the biggest problems we had, which was threat gen. Remember, I was playing a tank. So, yeah, there was a moment that I'll never forget. I had this rogue in my party, and his job in any run was to, it wasn't misdirect, but it was the rogue version of misdirect to me. Hang on.
Who is this that speaks?
Listen, warriors like me are replaceable. If I fall, my brothers and cousins will pick up the spear and fight. My people cannot survive without their elders. Really? You're an outsider. Convince him to leave.
May your nets always be full.
Dirty tricks. That was it. Dirty tricks. So, his job was to dirty tricks to me regularly. Thing is, in the acclimation patch, they made a small but critical change to dirty tricks. So, what ended up happening was before, it would be like, hey, for a few seconds, all the aggro I generate goes to you. The new thing was, for a few seconds, all the aggro I generate goes to you, and then it comes back to me. So the rogue would be like, and he'd blow all his cooldowns as soon as he blows it, because he's trying to generate as much aggro as possible for me to help me pick up the initial. And then it would all go back to him. And then he would die. And he would be very confused. Now, I'm paying attention, so I notice what's happening, because I'm watching the threat, and I'm just like, what? And so we did a couple more tests, and yeah, lo and behold, that's just how it works now. And so it's like, okay, we'll just stop doing that. But then I just started having trouble keeping up on aggro, because remember, they turbo-nerfed the threat gen of tanks. So I just couldn't hold trash anymore. The Taika sent you, didn't he? I am not to be swayed. All is not lost. The spirits are still with us. Powerful spirits watch over the tribe. Kaskala will not be lost. Islaruk will give us courage. Tayukta will make our survivors always have food and shelter, and Karkut will watch over the fallen so they do not lose their way. Islaruk's guidance is the one we need most right now. I asked my nephew, Iruk, to bring me his totem, but Kvaldir's spears struck him down and his body fell to the waters. Don't let my nephew's death be in vain. Okay. We are in the Borean Tundra, although we're at the very... I don't want to say the tail end, but we only got 2 hubs left to do in the Borean Tundra right now. What do you think the temperature of this water is right now? Whoops. Anyways, I don't want to complain anymore about Cata. I really got pissed at that. But again, the real problem here... that's going to be a horde thing, Dantos. I think we'll find out, because that's the last hub, is up there at Fizzcrank Airstrip. Anyways, they screwed it up. I'm sorry, they screwed it up at the launch of Cata, and rather than fixing it, they decided to throw it completely out the window. I'm not turning into this guy. A very Blizzard response. You would not believe how much work I had to put into convincing a couple of people. And I only convinced 2 people to come back for Pandaria. I lost my whole guild over Cata. Can you feel his presence? He does not want his children to perish at the hand of the Mistwalkers. The spirits have heard our cry for help. It's a sign that we can yet be saved. Take advantage of the confusion of the weather and slay the Kvaldir leader. No, I know, right, Ragnarsbeard? Like, they clearly pay attention to their players. For good and for bad. I could be Ran 36, I don't know. Oh, he's dead. Let's kill you while we're here. Just for funsies. Bonus points, you know? Goodbye. Yeah, Kata was an expansion of... Well, it was the first of the new WoW expansions. Like Rutgers Beater and I have talked about way too much. It was when WoW officially stopped being an MMO and started being, you know, a co-RPG, a video game thing. Yes, a video game thing. I'm here to be as intelligible and as intelligent as possible. I can tell because I'm failing miserably at it. Let's go and grab that, actually. Dwarf, word just arrived from Milwaukee Harbor. Something very bad has happened there. You've been helpful. Would you consider using the boat to travel to Dragonblight? I'll go to Dragonblight later. But I'm going to pull this off to the side for now. So now is probably a good a time as any to talk about class design. So we haven't really been focusing on our talents yet, because I kind of wanted to talk about them when it's more relevant, which right now, or the next level, would be the most relevant times to do so. First, we have to talk about the Gnome Town. Check it out. They, well, they certainly have an approach to how they're doing things here. I love the airstrip. They have a frickin' airstrip. Huh. They even have bombers coming in and out. I believe so, yeah, Yura. They look like they're made of salt. I mean, look at them. Now, I'd like to say it's the first time we've seen this type of raised eyebrow. Thing, but actually, this structure was invented for BC. We just didn't see a lot of it because it only showed up like twice.
Hey!
I see the Skyhopper finally got around to sending help. And none too soon, I might add. Welcome, brother. We need your help badly.
Right.
Now that you're here, it's time for me to tell you the full story of what's going on.
Yeah, I love these tiny beds.
After you've heard my tale, go outside and talk to Jinky Wingnut. She'll handle everything from here on out.
You have a great day.
Yes, I do like these current shoulders. Not the helmet, though. Helmet's crap.
Pleased to meet you.
So what's going on here?
Alright, this might take a while. When we first came to this frozen hell, General Arlos came down in... Nope. Down in Valiant's Keep, gave my group of... Oh my god, I can't read. Okay. When we first came down to this frozen hell, General Arlos, down in Valiant's Keep, gave my group of flying daredevils and me a special task to establish a forward base for Alliance operations. This airstrip is the result. Let me tell you, it wasn't easy, what with the nasty beast and the ground rock hard from being frozen, but we managed, and we did it quickly. Anyway, we needed to pump lots of sand and oil for the machinery. The nearby pools proved perfect for that. Some of the sand even proved to have magical properties. Can you say possibilities? But that's a different tale. So we drained most of the water out and built out a pumping station smack dab in the middle. Everything was going swimmingly until one day the main suction pipe got clogged. Mind you, this part I learned later because I wasn't there at the time. When they ratcheted up the suction on the pump, what came out was pieces of a robot that looked a whole lot like a gnome. Of course, the fools worked night and day to put it back together without telling us. That's when we lost communication with the station. After a couple of days of silence, I set a scouting party. They never returned. I sent another group the next day with the same result and lost a couple of flying machines on aerial recon. At that point, I sent someone south to find help, and we hunkered down to prepare for the worst. We turned all our attention to making armor, weapons, and robots, so we could head out there in full force. What we did a few days ago, I couldn't believe our eyes. As I was saying, what we saw out there defied explanation. My people were nowhere to be found. But in their place, a veritable army of robots and androids going about their business. The droids all looked like gnomes, and they said they'd been expecting us. In fact, in their own strange way, they acted like they knew us. We were surrounded and quickly taken to the top of the station. That's where we saw their leader and what he was doing to the surviving gnomes. He called himself Gearmaster Mechazod. When we arrived, he was busy transforming the survivors into mechanical beings. He greeted us warmly and explained that he was one of the first gnomes to ever be created by something called the Grand Architect, a Titan Keeper from within the halls of fabled Ulduar. Apparently, he was the blockage that my team had accidentally sucked up from where he'd malfunctioned thousands of years ago. Just our luck, we built the pumping station right above him. The station's mechanics had put him back together, bringing him back to life. And now, by way of thanks, he was going to return the favor by curing all of us of what he calls the curse of flesh. And yes, as Lunerith just said, that is the first reference to the curse of flesh in this game. That's not quite true. There's something extremely vague about it in Oldemon, but really, that was a vague idea that probably wasn't even intended to be the curse of flesh. This is the first time they actually really explain this is the curse of flesh. According to Mechazod, it's a condition that eventually befalls all the creations of the Titans. In other words, we all supposedly start out as robots of some kind, and over thousands of years, we have sharks attack us, slowly turning into sharky beings. Preposterous, I know.
No.
No!
I am a gnomic shark.
Oh, God. There's so much gunk on that shark. Look at my glasses. Look at my right glass.
That's your face.
No.
That's the grease from your face. That's the inside.
No, that's on the outside. Look at it. It could also be my grease. It could be both.
No, you're right. It is on the outside, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit on the shark. You missed bad spots.
Yeah, I know. I was in a hurry. And I was tired last night.
Here.
Still tired.
Here.
Because somebody decided to spread the plague. Now, I'm not going to name names about who did that.
Look.
What are you doing to my floor?
Trying to get it to sit. It was okay. Okay, so just heard back from brother-in-law.
It didn't look like much of a cure to me, and I wasn't about to stand around listening to some crazy robot while he was butchering my people. We did what any sane gnome would do. We ran! Actually, most of us parachuted, but you get the picture. Not many of us managed to make it back here, and we still spread thin from having to deal with everything else, like the Magnetar and the Scourge. Oh, and also the Horde set up shop northwest of here. We're technically, like, at a truce right now, but you know how that is. Remember, the Horde are evil. We can't possibly deal with all this by ourselves, and quite frankly, I feel a little out of my depth. Jinky knows what needs to be done. I just hope you're able to get us out of the mess with our bodies intact. Okay, so, let's get this out of the way. The Mechanomes cannot cure the curse of flesh. Now, I think at the time, the intention was that they could cure the curse of flesh. But it's definitely true that with retcons and everything in place, what they're doing isn't curing people so much as killing them and then building a body out of their remechanized parts, which is not the same person and doesn't operate the same way at all. There also happens to be a comic about that, although that's from the Mechagon era, aka circa BFA. Point is, though, that's not how that works. Yeah, creating cyborgs, exactly. They even kind of hinted that here, with the idea of, oh my god, that's not curing us, and once they're cured of the curse of flesh, they weirdly just act completely different, as if they're a complete new person. Huh. Anyways.
Weird how that works.
Yeah, I don't know, it's weird. Anyways, so, yeah, no, there's no... This is important, because it's actually a major plot point several times. There is no cure for the curse of flesh, because it doesn't work that way. It's like being cured of becoming a teenager.
Do you want onions and pickle on your McRib?
Yes, please. Get me 2, by the way, please. And a large fry.
And an adorable child. Can I have an adorable child on the side?
Go.
Oh.
Adorable child, go back upstairs.
Anyways, I use that analogy very specifically. It's not a perfect one-to-one analogy, but the point is, once the curse of flesh has taken hold, people think of it as if it's a curse, which I know that sounds strange because it's literally called the curse of flesh, but it isn't. Curses in this setting, like in most fictional settings, can be removed, right? They can be completed or concluded or just straight up dispelled. There is no curse here. When they infest people with the curse of flesh, what they're actually doing is they're introducing chaos to order. We've actually talked about this before. True chaotic beings are like you haven't really seen them yet, but you will in this very expansion. They're giant balls of flesh and tentacles and teeth and eyeballs. A person is order given chaos or chaos made orderly, however you want to think of that. And so we are, we still have, fleshy parts to us. We're still chaotic, and we still mutate and adapt and develop and all those things that orderly things can't do. But there is still a structure to us. We have, we have lungs, we have a digestive system, we have an internal nervous system, we have a bone structure. Make sense? So you can't cure the curse of flesh because all you're doing is trying to push them back into being a structured creature, which, as we've already talked about, just straight up kills them. And then and then builds something new out of their bones, more or less literally. And again, this is exactly what King Jackass wanted to do in BFA. That's why he was considered a threat. He had developed a weapon to do that on a mass scale to people in large scale. And so he needed to be stopped. We think, based on... Oh. Hang on. Do it again. We think, based on some evidence... Thank you.
Where's...
What do you need?
One up.
Probably
Children
in the bag.
have them, don't we?
Or the kids, yeah. I think it's actually kids.
I think you're right. Hold on, I have a better solution to this.
Uh-oh. Oh.
You're already little.
Oh, no. No! God! Based on what we...
Spin out!
Wait, please.
Spin out!
Oh, wait, no, hang on.
No, you have to spin
Well, I have
out.
to take off my headphones to spin out properly. Oh, Jesus. Him. Okay, there.
Now you gotta press B.
Ugh.
Excuse me, A. Press A.
That was not the reaction I was expecting from handing you some gummies. Are you horribly allergic to gummies, sis? Is that what this is? Okay, I'll take them away from you. Oh, no! Is it a shellfish situation? Okay, I can accept that. I will say something. I'm almost done with this song. And I'll cut off that. Words.
Where are we?
We're in the Borean Tundra. We're at the end of the Borean Tundra, Alliance side. Because we're doing some of that other stuff on the Horde. But we still gotta do that right there. So, to answer Lunator's question, based on what we see, there's probably some individuals who retain some snippets of their memories from before. Not all of them. And how much of a personality they still have is apparently variable. So, after this, we're doing Dragonblight, Alliance side. And then I think we're doing... Hang on, I can check my notes. We're doing... we're doing Dragonblight, and then we're doing an Ojol Narub, An-Kahet, and then Noxoramus. Not technically in that order. Anyways, Now I gotta answer Zara's question. Yes, all in alliance. All alliance. You were not annoying on the previous streams, Zara. Can I explain why when a person is converted to undead, the person splits into two people? So that is a mishearing of what I said. Let me be very clear. When your soul is separated from you, what happens is your body and your mind keep going, and your soul keeps going. The original you is, in every way that matters, gone. And two new people keep going forward in their place, right? I mean, they're one letter apart, Blade Tribal. If, under some circumstance, these two completely separate people are then remerged by having the soul return to the body, those two people are now gone, and there is now a new person. Make sense? Yeah, two new people. Now, unlike some settings, being soulless does not actually make you evil. Now, you're probably thinking, but a lot of the people in this setting who were soulless make them evil. No. Specific individual circumstances, environmental cases actually made them evil. It would be more accurate to say that it just makes them a new person who is probably not having a particularly good day, right? And there's plenty of ways you can take that, and there's plenty of ways people have over the years.
Interesting.
The old man sent you to me, huh? He tell you everything that's going on here? Good. Let's take care of business.
You have a great day now.
So first, you know we have gnomes out there that were changed by Gearmaster Mechazod, infecting them with something that reversed the curse of flesh. Now they're robots. We think we have a way to recurse them back to normal.
Very well, then.
So let's just kill even more people here.
Hi, how?
Yeah, exactly, Braven. It is probably a very, very unpleasant circumstance. And we know this because we actually have a movie file in the game, so we'll be reviewing it, that shows exactly what it feels like to have your soul ripped out of you. We see that happen to Sylvanas. It is not a pleasant process. We also see what happens when your soul is pushed back into you, which we also see happen to Sylvanas as it happens. Yeah. Anyways.
Very good.
There's spare parts strewn all over the east in the scalding pools and the geyser fields. Heck, probably even up at the pumping station. Bring me back a whole bunch of them. Maybe we'll get the teleport thing working. I'd hate to see another accident.
Off and away.
Good day to you.
Those dirty, stinking snowballs. They stole all my supplies. What's a snowball? It's like a kobold, except they serve magnetar. Kind of take care of them. I know, it's weird. Anyway, you want to help me out? I know the little creep stole off with all my stuff. Stupid me, thinking it'd be nice and safe packed up on the north side of the airstrip.
Be seeing you.
Yeah, sure, I got you back. Well, that's an interesting question, Master. Let me ask you something. Have you ever played the game... Barbarella. I can't think of the name of the game. Oh my god. Also, this quest sucked back in the day. We used to skip this quest every time we could, because this one quest right here, turbo sucked. Lots of mobs, all of which hurt. Most of them are shamans. And you remember, mages cast, and mages hurt more than anything else. And on top of all that, these things don't share at all, and you need 10 of them. Yay. Anyways. So yeah, we would skip this quest, usually. What's the name of that stupid... Soma! Have you ever played or seen Soma, Magister? S-O-M-A? Bobarino is a fantastic game, but Bob Ed is even better. We haven't had a chance to talk about talent. We will at some point. I end the stream with that. So the reason I ask that, Cyberpunk tips into this as well. Apparently, some people think it's debatable. Forgive me for saying it this way, but to me, it's completely a non-debate. But anyway, some people think it's debatable that if... Well, hang on. Do you know who Tuvix is? That's another example of this. That if something happens to you, there is a... oh god, what's it called? Continuity? There's actually a term. It's continuity of something. In other words, if you keep going in a certain manner, like, it's still you. Even though it isn't, and that's stupid. It makes no sense. So that's why I can say so definitively that it turns them into... It shatters you into two separate people. First of all, because it literally does. We see this happen. There are literally two Uthers walking around. Right now, actually. As of the point in time that we're at in Wrath.
but also because of just basic logic. You have ripped the soul out, but left what's left behind. Yeah, it has been argued, and there is no argument that can be made on this, that we have no continuity in real life, so... See, I always had the vague assumption that the one of the Plague Ones was the one of the Shadowlands, but you could be right. There could be a third Uther wandering around. Which would make sense. His soul was really shattered. Like, that... He didn't take that well. I don't blame him. That was not fun. Yeah, no, it's the Ship of Theseus nonsense. Sorry, I shouldn't call that nonsense, but, like... It's its old thing, right? Is there continuity? But in fiction, we can actually say definitively, bam. So in the Warcraft setting, you're made, then you're broken apart, which makes 2. Then you're put back together, which makes 3. Now, they might not treat it as such. That's entirely valid. Let's skip that right now. They might not even consider it as such. It also might not even matter. That's one of those other little funny things. Like, even if you are a completely new person, is it possible to tell the difference? The unit you just dismantled, that's a word for it, had this inside its mechanical innards. It looks pretty complicated. Let's go and take it back. It does have a lot of biomes, I'll give you that, Hero. I mean, the transporter argument is and always has been stupid. Like, literally when they first brought that up, back in the 60s. It was like, no, guys, what are you talking about? But it kills you! No, it doesn't, you're stupid. Wow. Some settings, like Nier Automata, actually play with the concept of continuity. There's actually a thing in... This is not a spoiler. So in Nier Automata, the androids, the way they teleport is they upload their memories to a new body and then self-destruct the existing body. And shut it down. And then the new body activates with their memories. In every way that matters, the way that they fast travel kills them. They just don't care because they're androids. Like, their perspectives, their... valuations are different. Well, if it makes you feel any better, Linear Earth, the answer is extremely simple. The answer is because the creators say it doesn't. And they have come out openly and very directly and said, no. It's actually something that they have gone into some detail on multiple times. Yeah, it's worth noting that having your soul ripped out isn't what I would call normal. Most people... Thrall's eyebrows are amazing. Most people don't actually have their soul split when they become undead. That's why I had to correct what Zara was mentioning earlier. Because, like, most people don't, you know... It doesn't happen. You have to do it very deliberately and specifically, or it has to be a completely freak accident. That's why we have 2 strong examples of that right off the top of our heads. We have Uther, which was the accident. Probably, we're not actually sure. And we have the deliberate, which was Sylvanas. Yep, that's the answer, Linarith. Because they say so. Ugh, why do quest items have cooldowns? I should probably mention that if you want a more complex answer to that, I'm going to have to literally pull out the tech manual. And a couple of books, which go into it in far more depth than I feel like it. So yeah, the answer is because the writer said so. And then spent years trying to justify that with explanations. It's why nebulas are so dense in Star Trek and interfere with your shields. It's because the writers say so. Now, you're probably thinking, Lore, you of all people, I'm surprised that you'd be okay with such an excuse explanation. I'm okay with excuses so long as they are consistent. If you tell me that I can, because I am upset or hurt, physically, mentally, or emotionally, suddenly lift a car and fling it at someone on a regular basis, and you are consistent about that throughout the course of your work, then I will buy and believe that you say that, even though that is complete nonsense. Consistency is what matters most to me. And Star Trek has been quite consistent about the transporters not killing you. Gotta add that proviso at the end there. Because how the rest of the way the transporters works depends on the week. Because, yeah, interestingly enough, portals completely solve so many issues when it comes to the teleportation problem.
Warning! Warning! Intruder alert! Intruder alert!
And everyone who ever played Nomergon just suddenly got a heart attack. Yep, transporters confuse people, and shirts, and plants. I'm not making that up, by the way. Tuvix is the gift that keeps on giving. See, I'm completely with you on that, Lunarith. I should probably mention that Thomas will not be in our Trek because that's stupid, and Tuvix will not be in our Trek because that's stupid. Look, I'm down with accepting nonsense, but again, internal consistency is kind of important. And even by Trek's own rules, neither of those examples should have happened. And that's an example where I do not go with something just because the writer said so. Yep, nope, it's fine, Mad Overlord. It's just a half Vulcan, half Neelix, half Talaxian, excuse me. Yeah. I don't even know what else to add to that. I can go with the story if it's interesting, but I cannot avoid acknowledging that it's stupid. Luthor and I have actually discussed this before. Because he'll see a good story and he'll say, this is a good story. I'll see a good story and I'll say, this is a good story, however, ... Because I feel the nonsense needs to be acknowledged and credited there. Star Trek II Wrath of Khan has several issues with it, and I do feel the need to point those issues out. Doesn't mean I don't love the film. Oh my god, Lunarith. Oh, that's horrifying. Oh, I love it. Seriously, I need one more guy. There's one. Yeah, oh, don't forget that stupid orchid was in there too. Which just... I want to make sure people remember that, because a lot of people forget that they're not two individuals, they're three. It's Neelix and Tuvix and an orchid. Anyways.
Greetings.
Ooh, I'm gonna go with gnomish music, Spartan.
Alrighty then.
It's gonna take more spare parts to keep this thing running. Please tell me you've returned with everything we need.
Very well then.
Oh, these look like they're in serviceable condition. Now if I can only figure out how to make this stupid thing work. You're a hero. I have another problem. My boss, Tinky, went with Bixie, and I can't get the outgoing thing to working. Tinky's the only one who can fix this thing 100%. You think you could find them? They said something about some old magnetar in a place called the Dens of the Dying.
All right, Ethan. Very good. Hey. Very good.
You got any supplies? I could just do about anything without my stuff.
Off and away.
Oh, you're the best. Here's your coin.
Seeing you.
Oh, as you may have noticed, we created an airstrip on the southern den of a Magnetar den. She says something uncharitable about Fizzcrank under her breath. The old man has put me in charge of finding a creative solution to this problem. If we don't deal with them soon, they'll come down here and tear us limb from limb. That's where you come in. I want you to get me everything on this shopping list.
Very good.
Oh, also,
Very well,
thanks for
then.
the supersonic screwdriver. Oh my god. The screwdriver is the ultimate tool. It can do anything to mechanical stuff. Head back to the pools and dismantle the robots. Then use the screwdriver on their remains. Okay.
Very well, then.
That's a very strange and nonsensical idea. I love it.
Hi, you're a tall one.
You did it. It worked. Yep.
You
You're
have a
welcome.
great day now.
Okay, I think we're ready for the penultimate assault. Before you can bring down Mechazod, you're going to have to dismantle his lieutenants, Twonky, ED-210, and Max Blasto. Oh, and the Grinder.
Off and away.
My personal favorite is Grinder, because he's called Grinder. Yes, I have actually seen it, Czar. There's a quest in there? I do like purple mounts, Braylon.
Can I help you? Off and away.
I should have flown the mission myself. It's not that I don't trust Tailspin, far from it. He was the best wingman I ever flew with. Insert Tailspin song here. I sent him with our fastest recon squadron to gather information about the Nerubian infestation. The last report we received placed his squadron at the pools to the far south and west of the sinkholes.
Daylight's burning.
Let's go find him then. Oh yeah, the new models in BRD look really cool. Also, can I just say, I'm a true weirdo. Everyone hates this one fight in there except me, and I love it. Can you guess the fight? Now, what's funny is, I can't remember its name, and I don't think it's actually listed here yet, is it? No. It's the general. It's the one with the torches. I love that fight. It's a return to the classic gauntlet concept, and it's much better presented than your typical gauntlet. Like, it's everything that I didn't like about the gauntlets ripped out, and everything I do like about the gauntlet concept kept in. It's a long, it's a marathon instead of a sprint, which is what a proper gauntlet should be. Yeah, the main problem with it is pugs are like, and then they die. And I'm like, all right, I got this. Yes. Oh yeah, I have to kill these, don't I? Listen, I know thinking is hard. But tough. Sorry, one moment, please. I'm also going to take a little bit of offense at the idea that I apparently cannot compartmentalize. Me, of all people. And we're good. Alright, offense taken. Moving on. Wait. Zara asked a question. I don't understand the question. Zara says, any thoughts without spoilers? Thoughts about what? I missed it. I missed something. So, fun fact, just while we're talking about transporters. Me and Lord Reloaded, back when he was actually still talking to me, absolutely twisted ourselves into knots trying to figure out how to make the transporters still work and not have them be a constant thorn in our sides as far as a plot device. What's really funny is the solution we came up with was so simple that I feel stupid for not having thought of it immediately. The answer is, of course, to make it so that they are portals. It's basically Stargate at this point. It's a lot more smaller scale and a lot more portable, but portal, you're good, right? It's amazing how many problems that solves. What little mini army I've got going on here? Yeah, exactly, Dantails. It's just, okay, you go through a portal. Done. And we're good. There are some asterisks, obviously. Like, you need a sender and you need a receiver. And you do need both. You need the connecting points, otherwise it doesn't go to anything, right? There's some range limits, there's some energy requirements, there's things that can disrupt it, blah, blah, blah. All that's the details, but you get the general idea. I like the idea, Mad Overlord. I probably wouldn't do it in Our Trek, but that's because Our Trek doesn't have the transporter. But in Star Trek, I can totally see that happening, especially since, what if there's an alien race who... How do I put this into words? Doesn't believe that transporting doesn't kill you, right? And like they're like, no, it's totally safe. We don't believe you. What came out is an abomination. No, but listen, it doesn't kill you, we swear. To war. Maybe not war, but like it could be a whole thing. It could be a whole diplomatic incident. Like, imagine they find these people who have... I mean, Babylon 5 kind of touched on this. Babylon 5 had a race who didn't believe in surgery because any cut in the body would be something that would let the soul out. Remember that?
Your horrible DoorDash luck continues.
What happened?
None of the fries, none of the burgers.
That... What?
Yeah.
That is a whole bag missing, at least.
That's a whole bag missing.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we got the McRibs. That's it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Are you going to just try to get them re-delivered, or are you going to get the refund and then get them re-delivered? Okay. I apologize on behalf of their stupidity for failing you. Christ. Tell the kiddos I'm sorry. Where is this jackass? I need max.
None of the burgers or fries arrived.
It's a weirdly good episode, yeah, but
it
then again,
didn't show up.
Then again, I could say that about a lot of Babylon 5 episodes. Where is this guy?
This item was not delivered.
Warning!
Because it requires you to provide details for item is missing or not.
Oh,
delivered.
I know. I've run into that too. Even when you're just getting a refund, it's like, what's wrong with the order? It's not here. Okay, so what's the details on the fact that it's not there? It's not here. Oh?
Redeliver items.
Yeah, exactly, Mad Overlord. Like, what?
I'll let you get the rest of that going. Would you like a McRib?
Not right now, but thank you. I'm trying to push through this as quickly as I can. While talking about Star Trek, as is my want. But yeah, no, exactly, Matt Over. Like, hey, come to our ship. Sure, no problem. Ah! What? How did I get here? Like, it always kind of amused me that we'd beam pre-warp civilization people on the ship, and they wouldn't immediately freak out that they were just teleported somewhere. Where is this jackass?
There's also some loot I'm missing, which I thought was, like, up here? This is where the boss is. I remember that. Yeah, so it's not in here. I mean, pretty much before. Where are these stupid items? Am I still me? How am I still me? No, it's okay. Let me explain extremely complicated quantum mechanics to you. Huh? Just deer in headlights, you know? Oh, God, I remember that line. That was TNG, Season 1. Sorry, so how does Portal Tech and Stargate solve the issue since it's actually a transporter? What? What's a transporter, Linear? Sorry, I lost the thread of that. Yes, I can finally be evil! And now I will eat all the puppies I've been wanting to eat all this time. Delicious. Oh, these taste terrible. Ugh. Why would anyone eat puppies? This is so gross. Ugh. I've decided to not be evil anymore.
Okay, here's dinner part 1.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. And now to no longer be evil part 2. I will pet this puppy instead of eating it. Very gross.
How long is it going to take for the...
Hang on. Because it last I checked, it was just a thing. ETA 14.
Okay.
Yeah, I know there's an item I need to loot here. I have not seen it. I'm just gonna wowhead this. This is ridiculous. Listen, if I don't have some external force forcing me to be good, then I would immediately be evil. With no hesitation, just BAM! Oh, thank God, I can finally be evil now that no one is telling me not to be evil. That sounds like a joke, but no, that's actually... There it is. Thank you, Maverick. That's actually a thing, regardless of religion, to be quite frank. There should also be a boss here. Oh, gotcha. Well then, never mind, Linerith. Ignore me. I'm stupid. Hang on. This is my impersonation of me. Troll. And that was my lore runner impression. Thank you. Next up, I'll do my Valeria impression. Puppies! I just put a fingerprint on my glasses. I was eating puppies so hard! So hard! Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and admit I'm not super familiar with Stargates, so ignore me. I was misinformed. I thought the Stargates were portals. So anyways, to fix things, we're turning the Star Trek transporters into portals. Where are all the bosses? Do they roam? Am I stupid? I haven't killed any of these stupid bosses because I can't find any of them. I have to use an item. Is it in my inventory? It is not. Opinions on Keeler. They did not use her to the effect that they should have. She was a great actress, doing a great role that added some great dynamics to the character, and then they stopped having her be a character, and that was a huge... Oh my God! Mistake. Don't mind me. For real, though, like, I liked Keeler a lot, and more importantly, regardless of my personal like, she added a good dynamic to Worf. And then they just threw that away. What the hell were you thinking, people?
I am the Herald of Mechazon. Oh my god. How did you sneak up on me?
No, unfortunately, they should have thrown away Worf's... Oh, you mean adopted son. Sorry. They should have thrown away Worf's son, but for some reason they kept trying to make Alexander work, and they never succeeded. Not once was Alexander ever a good character. I'm sorry. They tried over and over again. Spartan says he was once. Alright, Spartan. You have to put some money down there. You want to say some slanderous words like that, you better be prepared to defend that in court. Court of law. I said that wrong. I was trying to say lore, but I actually said law. The court of law. There we go. Oh, jeez. Why are these all huge? The episode where Jedzi and Worf got married. I'm going to be honest, I do not remember him being in that episode. I'm not saying he wasn't, I just have no memory of it. You know who was a good character in the Worf Paralysis episode? Riker. Wonky. Look at the size of it. How do you even wind them up? I know how to wind them down. Heyo. Okay. Thank you for helping me find that stupid thing, because I'm apparently brain dead today.
Pleased to meet you.
Now we have to deal with Mechazod. Your Master Mechazod's insane! He says he offers us immortality by removing the so-called curse of flesh. What he's really making are robotic slaves. Yeah, we already talked about this. We're pretty certain he's still at the pumping station. Go kill him horribly!
Very good.
Okay. Do you want fries with that?
Hey, you have a great day now.
And you brought back the screwdriver. Reprogramming these robots is going to be a huge advantage in our war against that guy who we're probably going to run over in 5 seconds. I need to sort out my inventory soon. There they are. Let's see. So we got Mechazod, Bixie, and Tailspin. Okay.
Let's go kill Mechagon! Wait, sorry, that's a couple of expansions from now. My bad.
I know where he is, because he's right here.
You were looking for me, child.
Oh, sorry, he's a Mechanome.
Why do you come to kill me? I only wish to help. Now that I have been reassembled, we can return to a time of perfection, the time of the Titans. But I can see it in your eyes, hear it in your pulse rate. You would destroy me in spite of my offer of immortality. Very well. It saddens me to come of this. I look upon you as if you were all my children. I will slay you if I must. Oh, and I'm dead.
I mean, in all honesty, we would probably be a little suspicious of anybody who is offering us immortality, especially in the era of the Cult of the Damned, who regularly offer you immortality in the form of undeath, of course. All right, so let's go and turn that in. Oh, right. Turn into him. It's the worst thing possible. We've turned into a gnome.
Interesting. Right.
The head is dripping with oil.
You have a great day now.
It is done, then. You have saved us. If you hadn't stopped him there, who knows how far his madness would have spread. With the threats from the Blue Dragons and the Nexus War and the Lich King, the last thing we need is a mad creation of the Titans running loose.
Yeah, that sure would suck, wouldn't it?
Daylight's burning.
I will absolutely become a magical girl for you, Luthor. Yeah, exactly, Magister. There's a bit of retconning going on. That's why I made that point clear. Because, yeah. There's even a quest where it's like, hey, recurse them. And it's like, what? Yeah, just recurse them with the curse of flesh. Huh? It was the jailer! I knew it! I knew it! The jailer was behind everything.
Hey! Right!
Tiki and I came out here stalking some old magnetar. Apparently those caves up there are where they go to die. Of course, we had no idea they were going to get plagued when they went in there. We can't have plagued things roaming about. It's just not healthy. Say, why don't you put down a number of those things while I figure out what our next step should be?
Goodbye for now.
Sure thing, Bixie Wrench Shanker. We'll talk about you later. No, Huthor, what'd they do? What'd they do? Oh, level 26. God. It's Hoth all over again. Not as bad as it could be, but it's still Hoth. I mean, honestly, there is such a... There are layers of quality when it comes to undeath. I mean, there's that whole Type 4 undead thing, which may or may not even exist. Ending. Like what Kalia Menethil is. Or what Nathanos was. Or arguably what Sylvanas became. You could also argue that the second Lich King is a Type 4 undead. Yes, I do remember that, Huthor. Oh my god, he's even got the pose. Where's the flavor text? I don't see it. Am I blind? Where is it? I don't see the flavor text. I'm very sad. No. Type 4 was like perfect undead. It was something that was a kind of a conceit that was added far more recently. Oh, he's not a card. Okay, got it. Wow. And again, whether or not Type 4 Undead even exists is actually kind of debatable. It refers to someone who is more or less a perfect form of dead, but still walking around. No rot. No need of a phylactery, no need to consume blood. None of the other limitations or problems or hassles that all the other undead. They're just, you know, all the benefits, none of the detriments. It's really funny, Spur. You done with this song yet? Because the next song we're listening to is Dragonblight's song. Well, yeah, Type 4 is still with your soul, too. So that's why I say Type 4 might not even exist. Type 4 might just be a refinement of Type 3.
Greetings.
Nice work, but I'd grab a shower next chance you get. Now let's really deal with the problem.
Seeing you.
So while you're out taking care of those plague beasts, I took a peek inside that cave. Those cultists are plaguing them. They have some sort of noxious concoction brewing in a cauldron. I have a powder I normally use as anti-poison, and I mix it up with some other stuff. I think it'll neutralize the brew.
You have a great day now.
I'll just be back here doing this. Don't mind me. Breathe deep. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. Yeah, that's the stuff.
Hi, how are you?
I knew you had it in you. There's one other thing I want you to take care of.
Alrighty then.
Two other things. I told Tinky not to go on her own, but she just had to check off that necropoli to the west. I'm 100% certain those cultists came from inside that thing, which means I'm now 100% certain that Tinky's in trouble. She's the airstrip's #1 engineer. Without her, we're doomed. I'd find her myself, but one of those things got a swipe of my leg.
Seeing you.
Also, the name of this quest is Might as well wipe out the Scourge. If the cultists up in those caves survive the crash, then that fallen necropolite of the west can only be assumed to be filled with Scourge. Probably lots of them out in front of the pools, too. While you're there, could you kill all the Lich King's flunkies? Sure. I know, right, Mr. Red? It feels like this is a never-ending series of quests, and I guess that now is as good a time as any to talk about that. A lot of these zones follow this same general pattern. There's the part of the quests that are, you know, main story stuff, right? Regional primaries or primary optionals or whatever you want to call it. Then there's everything else. The main stuff is usually pretty cool. The everything else is just... can we get on with this? We are currently in the can we get on with this stuff. You'll also notice this stuff is taking us longer than the main stuff did back in the beginning of the zone. Go figure. Yeah, no kidding, Uthor. And we're not even doing all of it yet. We're going to do the other half of the zone on the Horde.
Interesting.
Who are you? Bixie sent you. Excellent. Get me out of here.
Off and away.
The cultists magicked me into this cage, and there's no door to it. Lady, you can literally fit through the bars there. With your help and a little elbow grease, I won't be here long. I just need an engine core crystal and one of the ghouls. Okay. I don't want to know what you want with that. No, I don't. Don't tell me. Yeah, I was always the person who went to the fjord for my leveling zone, because I liked the fjord. There are a couple of times when I wouldn't, just for variety. Or I do like the first few quests, because the first few quests on both sides are usually good, right? But the moment you finish the initial chain of fighting back in order to maintain your beachhead, like that was a really run-on sentence. The moment you finish the beachhead chain, that's better. You might as well just move on to the next zone. I don't remember how to navigate this stupid place. Is it not over here? I'm misremembering, aren't I? Describe the tone of the Borean Tundra. Ooh, okay. So I have an actual non-joking answer for you. For those of you in chat, what's the overall tone and vibe of the Borean Tundra? Because that's WoW, right? Every zone has a vibe going for it, right? I mean, Zoldrak is great. Grizzly Hills, you know, the fjord. It's in the name, for God's sakes. The fjord. Is it outside? Am I stupid? Hang on. Okay. Nope, I am stupid. Cool. I'll also mention that that area over there, it's too far away. I can't ping it. Definitely has a vibe to it. The Nexus area. But that's the Nexus area. It's practically a different zone. So that doesn't really count. Hello, Lich Lord. Ah! Why are you killing me? I need something you have on you. What? Can't we talk about this? No. You did call me a breather. Damn it. If only I wasn't so racist. Hell, even Crystal Song Forest has a vibe. And that's not even supposed to be a zone. We'll talk about that later. So, you know my answer to this, Huthor? Doldrums. It's this big, empty... Like, it's even mostly flat. Look at it. There's hardly any terrain to it. Even Dragonblight has actual terrain to it.
My, you're a tall one.
Me too, Thor. So,
Very well, then. You have a great day now. Very good.
so she's going to go ahead and use a teleporter.
Good day to you.
Oh no, it didn't work. Somehow I feel lighter. How strange. So, okay. I just love this because I'm not even sure Lunarith did this on purpose. So what she just did was she just transported herself, which created a double of herself, her evil twin, because this is a Star Trek episode now. So she says, my evil twin's out there somewhere. In fact, I'm pretty sure she's not back at the airstrip. Wherever she ended up feels colder than here, but I can only feel her for a moment. Oh well. I'll configure this thing soon and port myself back to the airstrip soon enough. In the meantime, do you think you can go let Bixie know I'll meet her there? Thanks. Actually, fun fact, since this is an Alliance-only quest, several Horde players would get to the part where you meet her evil twin and be like, who the hell's this?
Salutations. You have a great day now.
No promises. Tinky's got an evil twin? Well, if she says she's okay, then she'll be able to get back to the airstrip soon. That's good enough for me.
Alrighty then.
I'm gonna go start making my way back to the airstrip, too. Of course, I'm moving a little slower with this leg injury. Say, if you get there ahead of me, could you pass on the good news? Thanks.
Be seeing you.
Yeah, by the way, this was also back when the engineering device had all sorts of fun things, including making your evil twin. But I think it's lacking.
Yes! This zone is garbage. Anybody who likes it is garbage.
And Streets of Rage 4 is the worst beat-em-up in the world. I'd rather play Renegade than Streets of Rage 4. I think the biggest problem I have with Borean Tundra isn't that it's bad, it's so much that I don't think it's good, if that makes any kind of sense. It feels absent rather than, negative.
Salutations!
Like, we've had worse zones than this, right? We've had Blade's Edge, for God's sakes.
Be seeing you.
That's quite a tale. With all the problems out there, it's a wonder the airship hasn't been wiped out already. But thanks to you, that's one less adversary to worry about.
Off and away.
Thanks for the skull cap. Blade's Edge is still our worst zone to date. Might actually continue to be that until we get to Shadowlands. Hey, don't mistake me. Dragonblight is the worst zone in the universe. In terms of music. This zone does feel like filler, and I think a lot of its plot threads don't really have the time to develop. We've got the Kvaldir, who are there. We've got the Tuskar, who are there. We've got the Tonka, who are there and then abandoned immediately after this expansion. We've got the pits with Mechagon, and that's like a little bit of a hint of something that'll come forward, so that at least develops later. We've got the Nexus War stuff. That's good, I'll give you that. And I also do like, again, all the beachhead stuff. The Horde and the Alliance beachhead stuff is probably the best stuff in the zone. But once you get past that, there's not much else here, and I haven't even talked about the Murlocs. I will, however, say that I happen to remember the Murloc quest rather fondly. So we'll see.
Honored, I'm sure.
Thank goodness. It was terrible. There's a bright flash, and next thing I know, the squadron's going down. I'm hurt pretty badly, so haven't had a chance to comb the site for the other survivors. Will you help me complete my mission?
Very well, then. Good day to you.
I also happen to like the Dita quests. So, make of that what you will. The wolves have been pawing through the wreckage ever since the crash, and I'm afraid they consumed the microfilm. I plan to recover that microfilm, but I need your help to make it work.
Alrighty then.
Or I could... Okay, sure. I'll go get spice pouches. Or I could just kill the wolves. Come on, dude. I'm used to digging in people's guts. It's fine. I'm a Death Knight. I think my biggest problem with this zone is the quests we've been doing, to be perfectly honest. Because the quests we've been doing suck. It's why I almost never do them. Horde has a couple of equivalent quests, too, so it's not like it's just an Alliance problem. You're probably thinking, well, God, are we going to do the good quests? Yes, on the Horde. Like I said, with a lot of these early zones, there's enough content that's exclusive to both sides, and a little bit of content that's agnostic, so we're kind of splitting up zones a little bit between the two sides. It does have a little bit of the sampler feel to it, doesn't it? The appetizer sampler, you know? Either way, this is the best zone in the game. I'm thinking 52 positive. Actually, jokes aside, I haven't decided how many positive it's getting for various things yet. Because we're officially at the point where we're going to have to start thinking about multiple positives per zone. Yeah, it's funny. We go to the fjord and we primarily fight Vikings and pirates. And yet it still felt more like a Northrend zone. Although in my defense, I actually rather like that pirate chain, so I guess I'm the dummy there. Oh god, I forgot about that, Dantles. Anyways. I also need to go grab this just while I'm here. Wait, you don't like the pirate chain? Hello? Oh, Jesus. I'm so sorry. Please die. Yeah, the human who's really obsessed with Blood Elves and his girlfriend, who is not a Blood Elf, has to wear a Blood Elf mask. And my inventory is officially full. Alright, let's fix this.
I have many, many wares.
I will say, one thing I liked about Northrend is it's not just frozen wastes. It would have been easy to go that route, and frankly, I think that would have been the wrong move. And I can say that because one of the worst zones in terms of visual and musical storytelling for me is Dragonblight, which is the frozen waste zone. Okay.
Good fortune to our friends.
I think the weapon works too, Mr. Red. It definitely gives the vibe across, right? Oh, hey, we're covered in animal blood. But no, I'll tell you what really looks good in Frost. It's the Storm Peaks. They put so much effort into Storm Peaks. I am shocked at how good that zone looks. Sorry, I don't know if I finished my sentence, Mr. Ed. I really like the vibe. It definitely does strike me as a Death Knight who wields the light. I don't know if that's exactly what you're going for, but it totally feels that way. You cannot do that, Yura. You can't just be that contrarian. You can't look at one of the most visually impressive zones in the entire game and say, ugh. Come on. Work with me here.
Greetings.
You have the spice pouches?
Very good.
Now that we have what we need, I'll combine it with my emergency rations to create baits for the wolves.
Very well, then.
Don't eat this bait yourself. Just set it down in the oils.
Off and away.
Oh my god, Yura. No, we're done. We're done. Yura is beyond salvation. Cut the chain. Huthor loves dragon. See, I expect contrarianism from Huthor. He thrives on contrarianism. So that's fine. That's whatever. I don't even care. By the way, this is a poop quest. This is a bad poop quest. Oh, sorry. What I mean by that is, it's a poop quest. Yura is an artist, and I am not. Which means Yura is wrong. We all know how artists are. Ugh, disgusting creatures. Constantly making their art. So, fun fact, we don't actually have to kill these. In fact, that may have just prevented the quest item from dropping. Yep, okay. Alright, hold up. Let's see how contrarian Yura and Huthor really are. What are your thoughts on Amir Drasil? The zone, not the raid. Because that might actually be the best looking zone in the game. In just terms of pure visuals. Nothing else. The other competitor would probably be Ardenweald. Yes, Amirjasil is the final Dragonflight zone. I do like purple leaves. I've heard a lot of people dislike Bastion. I'll have to re-examine it because I don't have a lot of strong memories of it. Yep, this is a poop quest, alright. Everything else I wanted to talk about? I mean, at one point I need to actually look at my frickin' things. Oh yeah, I wanted to bring up Arthas. So, I'm not really complaining about this. Not really, I'm just clarifying something. But an inordinate number of people call the second Lich King Arthas, whereas you will notice that I almost universally call him the second Lich King. It's because he's not Arthas. Whether we want him to be Arthas or not, whether it make a better story or not, he is not Arthas. The first tiny peak of Arthas we see coming out of that body doesn't happen until after the last raid fight. No, it's not bad storytelling. Most people have no idea of the distinction in universe. The only reason it could be considered a problem is because I feel like some players, and especially some writers, tend to forget the distinction between the second Lich King and Arthas. Because they are two different people. I wanted to mention that earlier, and I spaced because we had so much stuff we were covering otherwise. But you know how they constantly call him Arthas! Arthas, Arthas, Arthas. Because they don't know. All they know is that Arthas went to Northrend, and then came back and burned Lordaeron, and now he's calling himself the Lich King. Like, how many holes are there in your common person's perception of what happened with the Scourge? We know a lot of that stuff because we were there in Warcraft 3, Frozen Throne, and WoW.
Good day to you. Very good.
Yuck. Yeah, you're welcome for doing your poop quest. Now let's do Emergency Protocol, Section 8.2, Paragraph C. Injured or not, as Squadron Commander, I'm responsible for locating and returning the insignia of my fallen pirates. Why? Nobody cares. Which term? Sorry, Rain 36. Yeah, even Death Knight Arthas was not Arthas. Now, some people have mistaken... Oh, no, that is confirmed in 36. That is canon. Now, they don't call him the second Lich King. I added that affix to make it more clear. They just call the first, second, and third Lich Kings the Lich King. For obvious reasons, I find that to be a little bit unclear. So I choose to clarify which one we're talking about. Anyways, some people mistake me for thinking that that means Arthas is completely innocent and has done nothing wrong in any direction whatsoever, which is stupid. Like, Arthas did plenty of bad things before he ever picked up Frostmourne. And we can pretty definitively say that the moment he picked up Frostmourne was the moment Arthas died.
Hi, how are you? Alrighty then.
Thank you once again for you doing my very dumb quest. Here's another dumb quest. Emergency Protocol, Section 8.2, Paragraph D.
Alright.
I'm not going to read this out loud. I do not feel like it. They actually confirmed that all the way back in Warcraft 3. Because... Balnazar? No, that's wrong. Tichondrius. Tichondrius actually flat out says that the Frostmourne ripped out his soul. Now, that probably wasn't intended at the time, but based on what we know now, and how the lore is lined up, yeah, no, that was the death of Arthas right there. I will admit this does drip a little bit into the Vader problem, because nobody, both writers and viewers, can make up their mind on what the hell actually is going on with Vader. Whoop, whoop.
Honored, I'm sure.
Okay. Is there another Of course you have another quest. I don't even care. I'm not rating it. I'm not rating. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody in the world cares about this one stupid gnome and his quest to get poo. Probably, yeah, Lunarith. And the really awful part is they probably went to the Maw. Although they actually retconned how the Maw... I don't want that to the how souls were flagged for going to the Maw. Why is there another quest here?
Hey!
Okay.
You have a great day now.
Pleased to meet you. Very well, then.
By the way, we're not done yet, because there's another chain after this. This is just... Oh my god, kill me. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. Take my blaster and head north to Magboth. If we're going to have a chance against those monsters, we need to cut them down to size, so to speak. In order to gauge its effectiveness, I need you to slay the Magnetar while the blaster's effects are still on it.
Be seeing you.
Sure. But first, I gotta go do this other quest for no reason. That's an interesting question, Mira. I suppose I'll give you a serious answer, because I assume you're not trying to pull my leg or anything like that. So, Amirdrasil is sufficiently visually distinct that if I were to show you a random picture of Amirdrasil, you could tell immediately that it is Amirdrasil. However, there are many parts of Val Shara where if I take a picture of it and show it to you, you will not be able to tell it's Val Shara. I actually ran into this problem myself when I was doing the Warcraft videos, and when I was putting together those reels at the beginning of each expansion, the pre-roll reels, because Val Shara just looks like another forest. It's a well-done forest, it's a very well-designed forest, but it doesn't have any identity to it, not until you get to the other areas. The dream itself actually has more identity than Val Shara, the Val Shara that connects to it. Some distinct iconography with the circular approach to like the foliage and the fauna. Okay, so I got your map.
You're a tall one.
Huh?
Off and away.
You want me to what? I hate everything. Also, I think Val Shara is gorgeous when it comes to forests, but at the end of the day, it is simply a forest, whereas Amirdrasil is a magical forest. End statement, you know.
Be seeing you.
Hang on, I've got to go drill for oil. Why am I doing this? I plan to build a machine that will collapse the tunnels the Scourge is using to deploy the Nerubians. Wait, I'm actually not going to do this quest. I just realized this isn't a horde quest. Yay! I can skip the quest. Oh, thank God. I'm free at last to do more quests. Right, I have to do this outside. God damn it. Yeah, Val Shara is a very, very good forest-looking area. Like, do not mistake me for speaking ill of it. That's not the point here. I'm just trying to make the point that Amirdrasil looks better, that's all. Inches amongst giants, as the saying goes. Please tell me the food's actually here this time.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. I was about to be really
With
angry.
An extra set of chicken nuggets.
Oh, good. I hope the kids like that. Sorry, I'm currently in a bad mood because this zone will not end. I'm really...
I fixed it.
Hi.
Hi.
It's frickin' zone. Negative to gameplay. I do mean that sincerely. I'm going to give this whole schlock a negative to gameplay. This is BC questing right here. We had some and then we, oh my god, the Magnetar turned into a gnome. Yeah, I don't remember that happening. I don't know, I guess it doesn't bother me in Reign 36, because the idea of the distinction is interesting to me. Especially since, you know, original Arthas is still there, effectively imprisoned in his own body. But then again, I've seen that trope many, many times, and I tend to enjoy the Borg, so I'm probably biased on that front. We also know that original Arthas actually still had some influence on Death Knight Arthas, just not enough. I will agree with you that it could have been better explained and portrayed, because that's pretty much Warcraft's problem in a nutshell, isn't it? Why do you think they had the Chronicles? It's so they could explain their lore. And they still failed at it!
Good day to you.
By all accounts, yes. No, you're absolutely right. What's his freaking name? The kid in Ice Crown. That's Arthas' soul. That's his original soul. 100%. The best part? That soul, that kid, that's what Uther cast into the maw. Thanks, Uther. What do you mean it didn't work? But, and she begins to sob. Okay, we can deal with this. I'm a big girl. Time to think outside the box.
Very well, then.
Okay, don't panic. The blaster might not have worked, but we can come up with other ways to utilize. Oh, that's a ring. Whoops. No, whatever. We're going to divert our attention away from the airstrip. Okay, we need a few things. Do you really want me to... Okay, fine. Was it the real Uther? That's an interesting question. That's getting into some debatables, because they really dropped that plot thread hard. However, I would argue pretty strongly that no, that was not Uther. That was Uther 2, for lack of a better way to put that. That was the equivalent of Death Knight Uther. I mean, it's not... You know what I mean. I'm using a comparison. I'm not literally saying Uther became a Death Knight. Although, Death Knight Uther, that has some potential. Well, see, it always made a degree of sense to me that Uther, the real Uther, actually knew the distinction between Arthas and the Lich King, because he's right there in the sword, interacting with him on a daily basis, whether he wants to or not, right? He's essentially got the frontline view, right? By contrast, Death Knight Uther, the one who was off in the Bastion with the Kyrians, he didn't know jack, right? So it makes sense that he doesn't understand the distinction, and that's the one that throws Arthas into the maw. So that actually tracks. There's an interesting question. Did the recombined Uther ever find out the truth? Oh, that'd be a fun moment. I threw the innocent Arthas in... Well, innocent. I threw the wrong Arthas into the maw? Oh my god! Well, we don't know too much about it, Linnaeus, but we do get to literally go inside Frostmourne, and it doesn't look like a very pleasant place. We also know that because it drew so much of its power from those imprisoned within it, that probably isn't a very pleasant experience. I mean, Arthas was not exactly a pinnacle of right and good and justice, even all the way back in the human campaign. Like, before he ever interacted with the plague. However, I absolutely think that Arthas was done dirty. In universe, I mean. Like he did not deserve the horrible, horrible fates, plural, that were bestowed upon him. There's a term for that. Can't think of what it's called. It's when it's like, hey, you stole a bucket of candy, therefore I'm going to chop off your arm, right? There's a term for that, and I cannot think of it right now because I have a headache, and I'm tired of these friggin' quests! Why won't these quests end? Ah! God damn it! I think Arthas could have been an interesting hero if given the time and the support. Disproportionate retribution. Thank you. That is the exact phrase I was going for. Arthas is definitely a victim of disproportionate retribution. And Death Knight Uther, I'm just going to start calling him that, pretty much sealed the fact that he would never have any chance at redemption. Who knows what Arthas would have been through if he went to Revendreth, which is probably where he was supposed to go.
Hey.
So, here's your stupid crap.
Be seeing you.
Nice. These road clothes reek. Personally, you're never going to catch me dead in such rags, but we'll have to find someone to fit your figure.
You have a great day
So,
now.
with all the outfits you recovered, I've fashioned a war song orc disguise. I had the genius idea of combining it with some old stuff I had laying around. Here. It's hanging around from last Hallow's End. Excuse me, I should read that out loud. Here in this sack is the disguise and the banner you recovered. Head down to the bowels of Magmoth and slay the Magmatar chieftain. Convince him to go after the orcs.
Off and away.
Because we're secretly evil here. Oh my god, another quest just popped up. Oh no, it's okay, it's okay. There's no other quest. We're good, we're good. Can Arthas be recovered and saved? As of this point, no. Arthas is the most gone it is possible to be within this setting. He threw him into the maw, Lunarith. We've been talking about this for like 10 minutes now. I'm so confused. It's the headache. I'm just going to blame the headache. It's okay. There's only another quest down at the bottom of this cave. That's not even a joke, by the way. There really is another quest at the bottom of this cave. It's right there. Plant the banner? Okay. Is this an escort quest?
Please.
It's an escort quest. Okay. Game. I hate you. I just want you to know that. Kael'thas, we'll talk about him later. I love how we're just talking about nothing but chat. We're not going to have anything to talk about when it comes to Shadowlands. We aren't going to have anything to talk about. We're gonna have drained the well. Put the frickin' thing on his corpse. Put the thing on his corpse! Jesus! Okay, let's do this stupid escort. So would I be mad if Sylvanas comes out of the maw with Arthas? Yes.
Need assistance? Alrighty then.
Like, absolutely yes. I'm sorry. There are many things that I dislike when it comes to fiction. Oh my god, I just noticed my face. Look at my face. Oh jeez, let's kill this guy for a third. Bye. And one of them is undoing it when you have a death, like when you have a permanent death, especially. If you're gonna undo a death, don't do the death in the first place, or do it really, really, really well. Having said that, if they decide to retcon it so that wasn't Arthas' soul powering Kingsmorn, I would actually be okay with that. I would probably still give it a negative. That's how that works, right? It is still a retcon, and it is still dumb. But you give us Arthas back and actually do something with him for once, then, okay. You know what? I'd be willing to let that one slide. No, plenty of people come back from the Maw, Loke. It's a major plot thread that we can go into the Maw and rescue people from there. Sylvanas' current task is to pour over the Maw and rescue people from there. That's not the point, Loke. The point is, Arthas' soul... I can't believe this. So, massive spoiler for Shadowlands. Because we're just talking about Shadowlands now. And I'm actually kind of upset about it. So this is the last thing I'm saying about Shadowlands for the next week. But... Arthas' soul, it's not the fact that he's stuck in the Maw. That's not the problem. The fact is, Arthas' soul was destroyed to the point where there was nothing left of it. He was ground down into fuel to the point where there is nothing left that is Arthas. He was pulped down. That's why Arthas is as gone as it's possible to be, because the single most centric identifier of the self that exists within this setting, which is the soul, is no longer there. Now, all discussion about Shadowlands is over. For real. I'm gonna put this here and it's gonna remind me.
My, you're a tall one. You have a great day now. Very well, then.
Holy moly, you did it! Alright, now those pesky Magnetar and Snowballs should turn their attention to the Horde. Great! I'm so glad you just turned them against our allies. Thanks for that. You twit.
Greetings. Be seeing you.
Huh? Who? Bonker? I have no idea who you're talking about, but I'll take your word for it that you rescued him. Yeah, thanks.
You have a great day now.
I should have gone with him. We might have been able to complete our mission without losing any pilots. Tailspin is right, though. We have you to thank for the fact that you were salvaging it.
Daylight's burning.
And I think that's actually it. That's it. That's it! We did it! We're done with the Borean Tundra! Oh my god! Okay, so hang on. Let's part and parcel this a little bit here. We're not actually done with the Borean Tundra, but we're done with it for today. Okay. So let's go with all the negatives. Sure thing, Huthor. Let's talk about BFA. BFA sucks and is awesome. Any questions? I'm so sorry, Spartan. Stab! Don't worry. Where you're going, there will be no more pain. God damn it, Huthor. Yeah, no, exactly, Linnea. I'm not really joking. BFA has some really, really, really good stuff. It has probably the single best cinematic in the entire game, and I'm pretty sure it is in-game, I think. So we will be able to review that, I think. We'll check when we get there. It has some really good regional quests. It has some cool plot beats. It has some good character beats. It finally turned Jaina back into being a character after having spent like 2 expansions not being a character. Sorry, 3. Let's see, God, what else? I liked several things about the Mechagon stuff. I absolutely loved what they did with the N'Zoth stuff, pretty much top to bottom. We also saw some good Allied races. Yeah, it was some good stuff. It also has some of the worst stuff in WoW. Like, holy crap. It is absolutely a product of its time. Sorry, one moment. I'm actually checking something really quick here. I'm going to be really mad if frickin' the BFA launch trailers in the game and accounts, but the old soldier chain isn't. Nope. It does. There's a quest before the gates of Orgrimmar that actually does play the cinematic. So it looks like every single one of the three of the four cinematics plays in-game. But it does look like Old Soldier itself, which is part 1. So I was thinking of the whole chain as Old Soldier. But it looks like only part 1 is actually called Old Soldier, and that does not appear to be in-game. But the other 3 are. So that's good. Because those count then. Alright. BFA is ridiculous. Alright, so. Borean Tundra. Yeah, it's just, why would you not put that in game? You put the vignettes in game; those are great. Although I'm not sure if the Pandaria vignettes are in game. I know the other ones are, Warlords and Onwards, but I don't know if the Pandaria ones are. That's actually a hell of a compliment coming from you, Luthor. Thank you. I think that's actually everything. So that's quite a few positives, mostly for the Valiant's Keep stuff over there. And then quite a few negatives for this stuff up here. And then a lot of kind of boring stuff in the middle. That sounds about right for Borean Tundra. I was actually really hopeful we get to start Dragonblight today. Like, because we were just racing through the Alliance stuff, and I was like, yes! And then we hit the gnomes. And then we hit the gnomes, if you catch my meaning. Oh yeah, I need to write down Thessarian's thing, too. So hang on. So Thessarian's chain, the Farshire chain, Valiant's Keep. Oh yeah, brickwork. So Yura, I know that I have no visual taste because I'm not an artist and you are. However, I look at this zone and I see garbage. Well, let's actually look at it for a second. Let's look at our brickwork here, shall we? So we've got the frozen shore. We've got some kind of light greenish rolling hills kind of a thing. A lot of the, I forget what those are called, but it's the steam vents that bubble up water. We've got the blood veil. I actually like the blood veil over here. But I'm not going to cover that yet because I kind of want to do it per the stuff we did. I like this area. This area is kind of part of Valiant's Keep, but it does a great job of conveying the idea of this one little farming outpost while we're out here. So, yes. So, let's call a +2 Farshire. Hang on. So, we've got brickwork. Farshire. The coastline, I mean, the coastline's solid. I don't really have a lot of complaints about it, but I'm not sure if it's positive worthy. What are we thinking? It's good. To say otherwise would be deleterious. I do like the Tuskar towns. That's actually a valid point. We haven't covered the Tuskar towns, really.
Mostly because we haven't really interacted with them yet, because we just kind of dipped in and out of that. We might actually give a plus for just the Tuskar aesthetic, I think. That feels about right, because that's kind of what we did with the Blood Elves and the Draenei. So let's jot down Tuskar. Move on. We didn't really cover any of that stuff, and we didn't do anything with that. We did go over the geyser field. What are they actually called? They're literally called the geyser fields. These look what they should look like, but honestly, I'm not super impressed. Like, it's geyser fields. Yep, you see the sulfur. There's sulfur everywhere. Yep. And there's like that shelf-looking thing. I forget what that's called, but that is a real geological formation. And of course, got the oil. Gotta have the oil. Yeah, no, it's like, I feel weird giving pluses to any of this, because it's just so not doing it for me. And I'm kind of with Huthor. There's a lot of subclimates just slammed together into the Borean Tundra. To use a bit of a comparison point, over here in the Howling Fjord, we've got the cliffs, you know, the fjords. Fjords, and then mountains. Like, the whole zone still has a fairly consistent vibe to it. Grizzly Hills, duh. It's the Grizzly Forest. Zuldrak is, I forget if it's Aztec or some other thing. Dragonblight is, we'll get there. Storm Peaks, yeah. Titan plus massive, awesome place. Ice Crown is hell. Sholazar is gorgeous. Obviously, we already covered Sholazar. That's the only we've covered so far, to answer the this question. And then, yeah, then we just have Borean. Yeah, I don't know, Rain 36. It feels weird. Why don't we... And then, of course, we have the Gnomish Town. We've already covered Gnomish Town a little bit. And the airstrip. I don't know. I think we'll call that what it is, as it is. We've already mentioned the music. That's the quests. There is one last thing I kind of want to cover, but honestly, I'm hungry and my food is literally getting cold in front of me. So, tomorrow, hopefully on time, we'll go ahead and we'll talk about the Death Knight. And then we'll do the Dragonblight stuff. So I'll see you tomorrow.